You're listening to virtual interactive chat like you've never heard before. We are discussing issues from both sides of the political spectrum every night. Join us as we take on the two-party system. Hello everybody, welcome to America's Third Party. I am David Sponheim, and this is our remote broadcast starting at 6 o'clock. I am broadcasting from an area because a Wi-Fi hotspot because I have power outages in my area. And there's a lot of people concerned about many things right now in the news, and I just didn't feel it was necessary to stay at home, so I hit the road and did this show on my own. So, okay, the link is not popping up. You're going to have to make that more affordable for me, but I believe that, yeah, some people are concerned about the guy who's funding a border wall. We'll get to that in just a bit. Fox News says if interest rates go up 5%, it's at 4.3, then we're going to be in a Great Depression 2.0. Well, I think we've been entering a Great Depression 2.0 for over 10 years while they masked the real systemic flaws in the economy. So we are looking at December 20th tonight, and we are analyzing the news. We got a lot of things to talk about. General Mattis has issued a resignation letter effective mid-February. So we will be losing General Mattis as our Secretary of Defense, but he wrote a very eloquent letter about our national defenses and how he's remained strong, and we will continue to remain strong. But I think he was a little bit miffed at all the arguing he's been doing with Trump. Now, as you know, Trump is pretty much backing a lot of my ideas that I've been coming up with, and I think that's great. I used to think it was a problem, but I think it's more likely a good thing that he's actually tracking our show, and I think for a good reason. I suggested we stop funding the rebels in Syria. He stopped funding the rebels in Syria. I suggested we end our presence in Syria. Donald Trump is essentially pulling out of Syria. So far so good. We're doing a good job of giving good ideas. And more recently, I actually said on the show that I want Donald Trump to take my idea of a container fence and go with it. And he's doing just that. He's suggesting that maybe we'll be using $500 million to create a container fence. That's exactly what I thought. And we'll have to pay for labor, but it's a really good idea. And I think using the container fence idea is great. So if Donald is watching our show ever and he likes our ideas and he takes them, I'm good with that. I really want our country to do well. So how can I lose when he's taking my ideas? It's a win-win for everybody. I don't think I'll make it to my studio. I looked at the damage. I assessed the damage along the coastline where we are. And it was so severe that I don't think the 5 trucks will get to the lines quick enough to get them all constructed. I'll be surprised if we get power by tonight. So I definitely had to go. Yeah, they will work. Containers are going to work because you can slick the surfaces down on the containers and make all kinds of things happen. Okay, we've got a story here. You can put barbed wire on top of the containers too. They're very portable, and we can even turn the containers into living environments for the people. If we have to store, people at the border waiting to get asylum, so be it. Founder of the viral fundraiser for Trump's border wall has questionable news past. Right, we played this earlier, a very serious story that I think needs to be addressed. Essentially what's happening is the person had his Facebook page pulled down, various other accounts pulled down. They claimed that he was a conspiracy theorist who supported the idea that Hillary was sick during the election. I'm sorry, but Hillary was coughing up green phlegm during the election, so it's highly likely that she was sick during the election. So when they pulled his Facebook account, that in no way makes him a complete whack job. Sorry, Facebook doesn't have that much credibility at all, considering they're being sued now for what they did to affect the election, giving away millions and millions of Facebook. 162 million impressions were stolen or taken away and given to the Russians through Cambridge Analytica. That's huge. 162 million. We've got voters that are equivalent to 300, probably 270 million voters if you take out children. and illegals, So that's a serious number of people, and that affected the election, no question about it. In the meantime, the House has approved, the standing House, the Republican-led House, did approve the $5 billion $5 billion allotment for the wall. His ridiculously poorly built wall, which I think needs to be reformed and refined into something a lot better. But if he goes with the container idea, that'll be great. Yeah, it is ironic that we're losing shipping because of Donald Trump's tariff war, but at the same time, we have lots of shipping containers, and we could easily stack these up and get them ready for a good defendable border wall. And we can even paint them with a surface that's durable and slick, and we can even grease them up so nobody can climb up the containers. A lot harder to do. We could put rolled barbed wire on top of the containers. Absolutely. A lot easier to distribute that along the top of the container than trying to stitch it to the existing fence that he's built, the slat fence. There's no money here, buddy. Yeah, you're getting paid pretty well. You hear that wind behind me? I've got a pretty good mic. You can hear it buffeting right now. That means that we're still dealing with power potential outages, even where I am. Alex Jones is a comedian and an entertainer. He is. His name is Bill Hicks. Alex Jones was hired to pretend to be Bill Hicks was hired to pretend to be Alex Jones. Yeah, so a durable fence idea is definitely in the works. I think the storm did follow me over here, but luckily I don't have any trees around me, so I'm not worried about a tree falling on me. I'm in a good place. I'm chilling because our storm hit the entire island, knocked everybody out. I have a storm map showing you the outages in our area, if you want me to give it to you. Give it to me, Let's take a look at the storm map. Yeah, you can see huge amounts of power outages all throughout the area. Yeah, you can see it. It's just massive, see? I'll just roll it over the screen for you. Everybody's without power. So all of Seattle was hit with chemicals last week. We had massive chemtrails, and now weather has been just haywire. We had a first tornado in our area. Nice, huh? Have a tornado. Yeah, so this is all very, very disturbing. HARP took out our power, yeah. We have no internet at the house either. If I hooked up a generator, which I will be doing in 2 days if the power continues to struggle, we're going to have a Christmas present of a generator cooked meal. I'm not ignoring you. No. Containers will work, bro. I told you that. They're very good, very easily. They make container connectors that go into the corners of the containers at the top and the bottom, and they make them permanent. I have solar panels. I've got everything I need to go off grid in the event of a major shutdown. But I'm not in any way worried about that. My position on the death penalty is I support a federal death penalty. But what I'm suggesting is lethal dosages of very, very non-painful lethal injections. Right now, they've got lethal injections that are very painful. They're designed to make people suffer. Wow, this is huge. Look at that. Man, I can't get over how this is hitting the car. It's crazy. So non-lethal or lethal injection is fine, but they don't need to spend extra money to make the cocktail super painful. I'm suggesting that we use something much simpler to execute people at the federal level. And again, we won't in any way do that unless there's actually DNA evidence convincing everyone beyond a reasonable doubt this person did it. I don't want people to suffer even if they commit heinous crimes. I don't think giving them a lethal injection to make them suffer is really what's needed. We need to at least be humane insofar as killing them is enough. not having to pay out $80,000, $100,000 a year for a person in a death row scenario will save the taxpayer billions of dollars. So the death penalty at the federal level is something I am in favor of. I'm also very conservative on many issues, like I support gun rights, not gun control. I also support... I don't think living in a cage is suffering, Eric. I don't. No. Lethal injection is bad right now because they make it painful. It could be a lot cheaper if we just inject people and kill them. It's a painful injection they're giving people. They're purposely making it painful. And it costs extra money for us. You could easily terminate a person's life with a certain type of drug which is readily available and cost effective. But living in a cage is not suffering to a lot of people who have committed heinous crimes. I don't think you understand the mindset of a killer. If you read Vincent Bugliosi's book that he wrote, Helter Skelter, you'll find that they gave up the death penalty in California, and Charles Manson got to live a full life, and he loved it. They even offered him parole toward the end of his life. He didn't want parole. He liked living among his buddies. So I think you have a bizarre view of prison life. Many of you don't realize that's what they like. They like doing that. There are people that have even said on record they would gladly pop somebody's brain because then they could spend time in jail with their friends. I'm serious. There's that mentality out there. They can make drugs, they can make crack, they can do whatever they want in the jail cells. They get 3 hots and a cot, internet access, guaranteed dental work, health care. I don't see how you could possibly say that's a living in a cage. So I think a lot of you Democrats, like myself, I had to realign my thinking to understand the purpose of the death penalty. I had to also realign my thinking to understand the right wing, to understand the people that are strongly against extended stays in our prison system. And it's costing our country a huge amount of money. The profit that goes into the private prison system is huge. I'm doing a show from the car tonight, which I'm recording, because I don't have any other options. We have no power where we are. Power outages are down all up and down the coastline of Seattle. We're lucky to have any power. All I'm saying at this point is we need to get our fiscal house in order. Now, did you guys get the Dow today? Let me check the Dow Jones, see what we're at. Yeah, the chart is up minus 464 points again today. So we have another major down day on Wall Street. All on the heels of an interest rate hike yesterday at 2 o'clock. Here's the, I'll show you the trajectory of the fall. We're in new territory, 22,859. Minus 464 points down. This is unbelievable. And it continues to go down on concerns about this president. Yeah, he pretty much has killed the economy with the tariffs. Oh, we could win a trade war, no problem. Dow is short for down. Down, whoa Nelly. Okay, CNN had a story, James Mattis resignation letter. We read that a little earlier, and it was very effective. It wasn't that disturbing, though. It was more likely an assessment of our situation, our strengths, and our purpose, and it was a directive mission letter as to how we should proceed supporting our NATO alliances. So in that way, I think he was talking to Trump. He was saying, you know, he didn't want Trump to alienate our NATO alliances. He's absolutely right. So Donald, if you're watching, I want you to be nicer to our NATO allies. Thank you. It's, in my opinion, it's the UN that we need to push away. NATO is strong. We need to maintain a strong relationship with NATO, no question about it. The stream is lagging. We're seeing power outages right now all over the place. China has one aircraft carrier versus 12 super carriers that we have. That's right, Real Magoo knows the numbers. And USMCA, LHA small carriers. And the new ones are really tough. Those new carriers are just unbelievable. I'm surprised how well they're built. Yeah, we have a very strong defense, and I thank General James Mattis for that. And Japan is going to get to build a carrier, yes. That's great. We are up and running. If the signal is down, you can always go to our iVlog.tv/user/America's Third Party. But I'm looking out on a wind that's still going. I mean, that's picking up again. So it's highly unlikely we'll have power tonight. I am dedicated, yeah. Well, if you were in a situation that we're in, we don't have guest cams, man. If you want to open up guest cams, I'll put you on, sure. It may change a little of the bandwidth, so bear in mind I can't guarantee that. Yeah, I'll try it if you want, sure. Go ahead. It's on your end. It shouldn't be a big problem on my end. Okay, I'm going to take my water bottle. And all you need for a show is one of these things. You've probably seen these things. They're very effective. And you need one of these waters with a filter block in it. I can draw water out of a gutter and still drink it perfectly fine. Yeah, we've got guest cams up. Yeah. Yeah, it's a classy jacket. I got this for $1 at the thrift store. Yeah, it's amazing what you can get for $1 at a thrift store. It's my favorite jacket. I've got 2 granola bars here, totally ready to load up on organics. That's enough to get me by. And got everything I need, really. Sunglasses, in case I have a blast of light coming at me. Let's see what else is in my handy bag here. Vape pen, in case I want to vape. Aside from driving, you don't want to drive and vape. Yeah. But say I want to go to bed and sleep a little while, in my car with my blankie. Yeah, you can't smoke and drive. It's illegal. No, those are my glasses. I got all my sunglasses from public places where people drop them and leave them. These are foster grants from some old guy that left them next to a public telephone. I remember public telephones used to exist. Remember that? Well, I mean, say you're in the middle of an alien abduction, and you say, "Oh, excuse me, I stop with the alien abduction," and then all of a sudden you're like, It's a lot easier looking at the light with the glasses on, I assure you. This is like almost scary. I'm glad I'm in an open area without trees around me. You smoke and drive all the time, that's very dangerous. You can put dabs in the vape pen, yeah. What I did was I put a little bit of the Fat Panda. Fat Panda makes a really good indica, and you only need about not even that much. Put it on the tip of your vape pen, and if I ever want to get high, that's all I ever need. Yeah. Door's locked. Yeah. So you don't need to get the resin that you would normally get. And I got to tell you, folks, recreational marijuana stores are opening up all over the country. Thank goodness we're getting an alternative economy developing on the side. So any type of really good quality dab that you can get will get you high rather quickly without getting the resin of smoking a joint or something. But again, you cannot smoke, vape, and drive. It's just not cool. Yeah, I have a collection of free sunglasses. I've kept them around for a while. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter. Actually, I think Trump should have fought for the fence longer. I don't have a dabbing habit. No, I hardly ever. No, it's super cheap. If you smoke marijuana or dab, you can fund your operation of smoking, which is non physically addictive, I might add. Unlike cigarettes and alcohol, you can fund your operation by spending about $1 a day. Your pack of cigarettes now costs $7.95 is the cheapest Marlboro you can find for a pack of cigarettes. So $1 a day for smoking or vaping is nothing, and it's not addictive. So we will be going toward recreational marijuana. I promise you, if I'm elected, when I'm elected, we will legalize marijuana across the nation. Everyone will be able to grow it in their home, up to 6 plants like California's law. Yep. Yeah, $1 a day is totally doable. If you control your intake, that's the kind of numbers you're looking at. In our state, where we live, you can buy an ounce of really good marijuana for 23 THC level, 23% THC for $100. 1 ounce of a really good marijuana for $100. That's huge. I don't have a garage. No, I have a couple garages, actually. I keep my collection of cars in my garages. I have a large estate, so I have a lot of collectibles I keep. Yeah. It's nice having an estate, isn't it? Yeah, marijuana is not physically addicting. There's no come down or withdrawal effect from marijuana. Let me start my engine and see if I still get a transmission here. No, you're wrong. You're out of here. You're absolutely wrong. You are wrong, sir. All right, hopefully you can hear me over the engine. It's a very quiet engine. This is a hybrid car I'm driving. Really good technology. I get about 55 miles per gallon. I have a battery pack in the car. No, we're doing a remote. I'm doing a remote broadcast because we have no power at our house and cable doesn't work. So I will agree there is a psychological component to marijuana, no question about it. This is a 3-cylinder. But once we legalize marijuana across the nation, even a lot of our crop producers in Iowa will be loving the fact that we can grow hemp. And it's very low water usage, and it will help restore health to the soil. I think it's okay. I'll run it off battery for just a bit. I have power where I am. I had to drive 25 miles away from my location to get power. So luckily I found a nice place I can connect to their Wi-Fi, and then I run my entire show through a VPN out of Singapore. And nobody can see where I'm broadcasting, which helps me with security. And I have the ability to, providing a decent stream, even though it's not that good. I mean, I swear, they only have like 1 megabyte per second upload. And I'm running video, 300 kbyte per second video streams. And I'm amazed I'm even able to do this. I'm really shocked, actually. I'm very pleased. No, Mark can't ban this VPN. It's so secure. It's unbelievable. I'm not at a coffee shop, man, and nobody's going to bother me here, but nobody knows I'm here either, except for the people that are around me, which they don't care. One of the nice things about being censored in America is no one recognizes me. She's fake. She's perfectly safe. No one recognizes me in my own country. I'm seen around the world by many people, UHF, VHF, but nobody recognizes me in my own area, which is great for now, you know. It's kind of nice to have that sense of anonymity. Yeah, so it's kind of nice to be able to go around and not be noticed. Yeah, I enjoy that. I think that's great. The 2019 Honda Insight, are they still making them? Really? Well, this car cost $25,000 new. Nope, I'm not a cop. It's just another guy. This entire thing cost $25,000 new. I bought this car 7 years older, and it was $7,500. In 7 years' time, this car went down in price from $25,000 to $7,500. I then put a $2,000 battery pack in it, which brought it back to full health. I had a couple of $600 oxygen sensors. One oxygen sensor I had to spend $600 on. One of my electric windows fried on me, so I had to replace an electric window apparatus. But that, along with oil changes, is about all I've spent on this car. No more than $10,000 total. Yeah, it's kind of a cool way, and I've got really good mic now, and you guys can talk to me, and this is awesome. We just got a new computer because we had a 3-year warranty on our nearly 3-year-old computer laptop, and all it had was a line down the screen, and I said to Sarah, we better go ahead and replace it. We did. We got an upgrade, and we bought a 3-year warranty on this one. I got 16 gigs of RAM instead of 12. I got Windows 10 instead of Windows 8, which wasn't working very well. So everything's working great on this computer, and the battery is rock solid, much better than the other one. So I'm really happy about our choices. When you buy a laptop, get one with the fans in the back. These gaming laptops are the coolest things. They run very smoothly. They don't overheat. And take it from me, I've had like 5 laptops in the past 10 years. I don't buy refurbished stuff normally, but we did buy a refurbished Dell desktop for $600, which we run the main show on. And that's got 16 gigs of RAM and a terabyte hard drive. For $600, we got a terabyte hard drive, 16 gigs of RAM, an i7 6th generation chip running at about 3 gigahertz. This has an 8th generation chip, i7. Don't get an AMD. Avoid the AMDs. Always get Intel. And the refurbished Dell Intel desktop was really good. They even gave us an extra terabyte external hard drive to boost to make the deal. So $600 gets you a pretty decent desktop nowadays. This laptop cost $1,200 with a warranty, a 3-year warranty. So I'm looking at an extension. We got a $900 credit with the warranty out the door. We paid $600 for this, $1,200 plus a 3-year warranty. So we got a great deal for $600 on top of the trade-in of the other one. But I urge you, when you get a laptop, buy the 3-year warranty. I won't. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. That's not a very nice statement. You're going to have to mute yourself. That's really wrong. Your fantasy world is extending beyond your chat. Yeah. No, that's not true. No, I don't believe everything I see on the internet. That's also not true. You've been muted. Well, believe me, if flatulence was a crime, most of you would be in jail. You can quote me on that. I guess you could say out shopping. Yeah, sure. Trying to stay away from the high winds buffeting the car. Okay, so we read General Mattis's, I don't want to bore you with it, but the bottom line is he thinks that Trump should support NATO more. We've got some reality checks coming out of the news here. Trump fires back at Senator Graham with accusation he's against saving U.S. lives in Syria. Yeah, Graham is an idiot. He's never fought a war, neither is Trump. But our policy in Syria was getting stale. And frankly, even Trump has to run the risk of seeming like he's catering to Vladimir Putin. It's actually a tactical maneuver designed to minimize the future involvement in the region. Syria was managed very well by Russia. About a year ago, they finished off their control of the region, maintaining security for the people that really want to support Assad. I think we were egging everybody on, funding rebel troops, faking gas attacks. It was a failed policy that was originated by Zbigniew Brzezinski, one of the architects of the New World Order. So getting away from Syria and taking over Syria is a smart move. Letting Syria do what Syria has to do to take care of their own destiny, that's what we have to do. Great. Trump may be kind of a guy reaching for solutions. If he is going to be, retiring soon or resigning soon, he would face an indictment, possibly a felony charge for paying off Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal. No, I don't think civil unrest is next. No. I'm glad you're taking care of the Syrians. That's good. But the government shutdown could come after the House scrambles, after Trump throws negotiations into chaos. So we do have a potential for that shutdown to happen. But I don't think it's a big deal. Even if the government does shut down, it's not going to cut more than 60% of our services, which means, the FAA won't answer the phone. Not that you care anyway. A lot of these people are making a huge salary and they sit there doing nothing every day. So shutting down the government isn't exactly the end of the world. Well, I think Trump is working, ironically, colluding with Russia. But again, I don't have to linger in that belief if Mueller can't even get one single charge levied against Trump. I'm not going to waste my time and breath as we move toward the future. I have to make myself available for the American people. We'll do the show as long as I can. Yeah, definitely till 10, or definitely till, I'm shooting for 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. We'll see. The wind may take out the electricity where I am. If that happens, I'll just go completely off, and you guys will wonder what happened to Dave, and then go on to your next show. Well, at this point, I'm trying to not hate people who are right-wing. I'm a former Democrat, so it's not that difficult for me to understand where they're coming from, because the Democratic Party has become just as corrupt. And I think that both parties have become they reached the point where they're no longer effective. Just like the Fed is no longer effective when they say they're going to raise interest rates, it sends spikes through the stock market. That's how fickle the stock market is. Kim Jong-un told Trump to shove his sanctions up his butt. The verbal deal is off. As I thought it would be. Yeah, I didn't think they'd worked out the details prior to that meeting in Singapore. Anyway, I'm ignoring my friends over at iVlog, and I don't want to do that. So, hey guys, let me read your chat. Linux is the cheapest way to go. Free software and lots of it. Good to know. You don't think he's going to get in trouble paying Stormy Daniels? Judge ruled that Stormy had to pay him back. Yeah, I heard it was closer to $290,000, but sure. Well, then Trump is fine. He really has no reason to leave the office of the presidency. Unless Manafort's story turns into a money laundering deal where they have recordings of Trump saying, "Oh, I want you to sell that property for double the price to Olaf from Moscow and send me the difference. Put it in my private checking account." If they have tapes of him saying that, then it would be a problem. Yeah. Trump is going to plead innocent and didn't know it was illegal to pay off somebody to keep him quiet during an election. The internet got taken down. We had high winds, 70-mile-per-hour winds. I'm on a very slow, free high Wi-Fi connection running through a VPN out of Singapore. So, yeah, it's amazing. I'm bouncing the signal all around the world and evading any attack on my IP. You know, I understand that Stormy is going to have to pay the $290,000 plus, and I think she really got screwed over by Michael Avenatti. He made $470,000 in fees, funded through crowdfunding, which is illegal if he's going to run around saying he's running for president. You can't take crowdfunding money and say you're running for president. That's illegal. So Michael Avenatti isn't giving her any of that money. So I feel bad for Stormy that she has to now deal with Michael Avenatti's mistake. Yeah, VPN out of Singapore. Hey, the hybrid car. Yay, Sheriff John Brown. Hey, man. Yeah, it works pretty well. There's a mirror here in case I want to look at myself. 2000. Yeah, I have a 2000 hybrid. It's the 235th hybrid ever made in the world. That great? Before even Teslas and electric cars. Well, I heard she got screwed by Trump once, and that it was only like a one-night thing. And then she got screwed twice when she had to pay for his court fees. I think the government has too much power as it is, too. I think the government shutdown will teach them a few lessons. A lot of you folks have been living close to the edge, and I'm not bragging or complaining that I have to. And I know that I could take a serious financial hit and still be just fine, even if the dollar dropped in value. I think I can hang out and live off sardines until I grow my own vegetables. So, yeah, I don't think Avenatti's going to pay her, and I think that he won't pay his lease building. He just got evicted from a $200,000 debt he paid on his leased law offices. Yeah, they're suing him in civil court for the $200,000 that he owes. So he took $470,000 and he didn't even pay his leased office building. So there's something going on with Avenatti that doesn't add up. We had a bad windstorm right after the chemtrails hit 5 days ago. Well, we got a full moon tonight. I think it's a full moon. It looks like a full moon. Around Seattle, we're getting all kinds of power outages. I just showed everybody the map that we brought from our show earlier. It's a serious amount of power outages on the area that I'm speaking of. As you see from the map, it's up and down. It's all the way up where I am. I'm up here at the top, and all the way down into Seattle. These are all power outages. Way down. The wind is just horrendous. And I have never seen more downed trees in my area than I saw recently. I just drove by 7 power lines that were down. I mean, it's not like one's going back up and they'll get it hooked up. These guys are out there working at double time. They're probably making $100 an hour. But, well, it'll save the government a little bit of money. But restarting the government is going to cost money too. But the government won't shut down completely. They can pay for much of the funding of the government through various slush funds that they have. But the Congress has been so unwilling to agree on the border fence, which I think is a good idea. Congress has been bucking him for no reason other than to be pissing them off, basically. They don't even care. Trump has not garnished a good relationship with Congress. And it's led to a lot of people, especially the Democrats, feeling like they're left out. They don't have anywhere to go other than to shut them down. And they're only hurting themselves. The $5 billion donation to the border wall is not a big deal. The Democrats want to use an obscure law to grab Donald Trump's tax returns, which I think is a good move. The 1924 law says the Treasury Secretary shall furnish tax returns of any person for private review by the chairs of the House and Senate tax committees. Wow. I hope it works out for him, because I think Donald should have presented his tax returns by now, and he didn't. So, we're having no fires. It's wet. We're getting a lot of rain and wind. I found an area that's completely free of any trees. So I'm in a clear area. We're getting big winds, but I'm safe and I've got a good connection. And I asked them if I could use their Wi-Fi, and they said, yeah, go ahead. So I'm good to go. People will flock to me in case of a major catastrophe because you have a survival sense. Yeah, but I won't be there where I am. I have a bug out plan all set up for a remote location. I won't be at my location in a disaster. There's no need to be at that location. Always have a second bug out plan in mind wherever you are. I even carry a bug out bag in my car. In fact, Sarah has one in her Honda Insight. She has a car identical to this. I made her a bug out bag. She lasts about 10 days. You want to know what I put in it? It's pretty cool. I mean, I've got these water bottles. She has one like this. This is it's a solid carbon block in there, and it goes up through a straw, and you just open it up like this. Squeeze and suck. Okay? And that's pure water. I put filtered water in there, so when I pull it out, it's like pure, double pure. Really good. And that's been in there for about 6 months. So it's not like it's fresh water. It tastes fresh as a daisy. Not that daisies are fresh. The viral fundraiser is a border wall fake news guy. They're spinning a lot of stories about this he's an amputee, 3 amputee guy who was a military veteran. They're saying he was a fake news guy. That's just the media trying to denigrate his idea. They've been trying to shut his websites down all over the place because he's a right-wing guy. And he's been talking about Hillary having illnesses. We did too. We talked about Hillary and her big, huge green glob and her inability to function because she's, obviously got Parkinson's. I mean, they could have said the same thing about me. I don't think this guy is a bad guy per se. But he has closed a few websites recently, and he's got a bunch of websites that are kind of they look like right-wing, extreme right-wing views, but this is America. You're entitled to your extreme right-wing views. Just like you people on the left are entitled to your left-wing views. Sarah and I had a big, long conversation about LGBTQ, and she supports LGBTQ, as you know, and I don't. And she doesn't want anyone to think that, we don't care about homosexuals. Well, I care about homosexuals. I don't want them discriminated against, but he's a legit Air Force veteran. There you go. Snopes checked him out. Yeah, but I don't cater to LGBTQ, and I want you all to know that I'm not going to cater to their requests. Yeah. I don't think we should in any way cater to a sense of indecision about whether a boy is a boy or a girl is a girl. And oh, this is not a good site. Snopes is harvesting data. Anyway, did a GoFundMe campaign to fund a border wall raise millions of dollars within a few days? The answer is true. Yes, it is true. Yeah, and I don't think we need to worry about this unless this guy takes the money and runs. But, if it gets to be $1 billion, this would be the biggest scam on earth if he pulled it out and ran with it with his one secure password to get it out. No, I'm not a transgender. I know a lot of you think that I'm a woman, but I don't see how you could say that when I'm clearly a dude. Yeah. Apparently you're so attracted to me you can't help but find me attractive even if you are a guy. And that's kind of weird, frankly. Okay, we covered that. Power outages. We got that gun covered. We've got General Mattis retiring. It'll be coming up in mid-February, February 19th. General Mattis will be leaving. He's given his resignation. The only problem with doing the show is this wrench back thing. Because I normally want to talk over here. It's like, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, it's just like, could you go over here to this side? Boston Globe, wake up with stories or not. I don't really want to have a Boston Globe story here that has me. Hemp is officially legalized with President Trump signature in the Farm Bill. Yes, Trump has legalized hemp. If only he legalized pot. That'd be great. I'm a manly man. Thank you, Scissor Fight. He lost 3 of his limbs while deployed in Iraq and was awarded the Purple Heart in 2004. Thanks, Real Magoo. I think Outage is doing the right thing to getting the money because the Democrats don't seem to care about our border security. I don't have a back seat in this car. I only have a 2-seater here. That's the only problem with this car is you can't sleep in it. Sarah and I tried to sleep on a trip crossing the country. We've been back and forth across country 3 times in this car. I used to travel all the time, back and forth, until the attacks on our show started. And then I realized I better not hit the road because I've got 1,000 death threats. We haven't traveled in 10 years. Actually, 8 years. 2010 was our last road trip. Yes, I've got bug-out bags everywhere. I've got cars constructed with bug-out bags. I've got the bug-out vehicles. I've got everything. I'm so prepped for any disaster, I can't even tell you. FBI seizes 15 DDoS for hire websites. So there are people that are trying to make money DDoSing people. And the FBI finally did their job. Thank you, FBI. They're seizing 15 websites that could very well be harvesting. They could very well be used to shut down other companies. Yeah, look at that. Today, the FBI announced it took action against 15 domains that allegedly helped take down other people's websites, game servers, and online services through DDoS attacks. The 15 booter domains yesterday included criticalboot.com, ragebooter.com, downthem.org, quantumstress.net. I didn't even know these sites existed, but this is where people spend money to DDoS people. And thank you, FBI, for getting rid of those. That's a good thing. Jive Turkey's got a YouTube video. Really? Right. If the site's located in the United States, they can take action. Good point. Okay, I'll take a look at that. We heard that Mark was bragging about making money still. He's still on his bragging thing. Yeah, United Americans has openly said that Mark paid him. Check this out, folks. Okay. This just came in the room. This is a copy of a United American Post. And in it, he says that Dave doesn't really understand how anything works. Mark is paying me $75,000 toward my debts that I owe, so I don't have to declare bankruptcy. P.S. Sarah looks fine. Her students are lucky. What United American doesn't realize is he just admitted that Mark paid him $75,000. Okay? That's huge. That's a big admission. Yes. Yeah, it's a huge admission. So that's not something that anyone should admit. He admitted it. That shows me that Mark has so much money that there's a trail of money that cannot be explained. And that tells me that Mark has been truly making money, which is what he's saying to people. E-Room came on our show the other day and said he makes millions and millions and millions of dollars censoring us, which is a terrible thing to do. Now, for these guys to turn on the American people and their chance to actually fix this problem, you can only imagine. I'm going to put this in United American on my cloud-driven. Yeah, I'm going to call it United American Admission. Thank you, Dino. Yeah, this is going in my threat file as well. He thinks he's bragging when he's actually admitting that that Mark is doing this. No one pays somebody $75,000 to help them with their bankruptcy unless they're sitting on crap loads of money. I mean, tons of money. It was in the Frank Taylor room. Okay, thanks for telling me. Thanks to know for keeping tabs on these people. They think, check this out, folks, they think it's perfectly okay for them to censor our show. Now, my donations have dropped next to nothing. You know that, right? Ever since I moved to Vaughn and we got knocked off Blog TV because Blog TV got sold to some federal informant. I had over 1 million viewers on Blog TV. They were worried, so they bought it out and they shut it down. 5 million. But Mark has made 10 times more than that from what I've gathered, from what I've heard. So making $60 million to censor Dave, how can you wake up in the morning and not feel like a total scumbag? That's what I'd like to know. How can anyone make $60 million censoring somebody in a show that should be open to everybody? It's just unbelievable. And then they reward United American, who spends his time attacking me on a show. I had to start casting at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, because United American was slandering me during my time spot, before our show. Mark is making money by censoring, doxing. If that's true, if those allegations are true, we got a serious problem on our hands. I'm not going to let it sit. Do you really believe that I'm going nowhere in politics? Do you really believe that my life is sitting in a Honda Insight talking to you every night for 10 years is going nowhere? I think you're mistaken. I think we've reached a lot of people, more than anyone realizes. And through the UHF and VHF brands and all the Passcam and all the other brands of rebroadcast we've got, this is absolutely a viral campaign despite their attempts to censor us. I can't seize the means of production. I can't stop a company that's offering a free server from censoring me. I can't do that. Only the government could do that. They need to trace where the money's coming from. If it's coming from the Russian government, like Mark says, then we have a serious case against Mark. But that's all allegations at this point. We can't validate anything until a subpoena of his records are shown. That includes banking, PayPal, everything. And I'm not threatening to sue anybody. At this point, I'm just trying to broadcast daily against all odds. And that's really the best thing I can. Mark is censoring us. That's pretty obvious. No, he can't treat us differently, John. It's illegal to treat somebody differently for a free service they're offering. There's a thing called equal protection under the law. And if you don't honor that, and you're maintaining a network, and you're purposely singling me out for payments, yeah, fees and payments that he's making, then he's being bribed to shut me down in a country that needs free speech and equal access and equal protection of the law. He's violating my rights. I won't work things out with a man who's receiving money to censor me. He's already committing felony after felony, and all of that will add up eventually. He can't do anything he wants based on the fact that the internet is a utility in America. It's run by the FCC. And the FCC has certain guidelines for networks. I'm doing a remote broadcast. She's very safe. You've been told to shut up before no one paid anyone? Really? Internet security has detected a crash. Okay, we're still up and running, but I'm getting a crash statement from somebody. A while back, he said his lawyer told him he couldn't pay people to dox you, and then he went to those in Africa so you couldn't be traced. And then remember a while back with all those callers that said Mark never paid them? Yeah. And I got you to know. I know that's what he's up to. It's obvious I have more viewers than anyone else on Vaughn. Yeah, I think it is. Mark hasn't even totaled the number of views that we've had. We've had over nearly 500 million views, and he hasn't recorded those. I can't grill food right now when I'm sitting with my 2 granola bars, which I haven't even eaten. Yeah, if I brought my cookout bag and I've got breakaway heating elements and a cook stove, and I can cook things if I have to. I know everybody's been lying about everything over there, and I'm sorry, but I can't get involved in the soap opera that's been brewing. Whether Mark is on the up and up or if he's completely on the take, it doesn't matter at this point. We're beyond this. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to go back and pursue any legal action if I become president. Well, if it's true that Mark is barely making it, and that it all pans out, that all these statements were lies by Lot Lizard and T. Rucker, then I guess everybody who's been, stroking us has been stroking us. But I have a feeling there's a kernel of truth in everything that's been said. And I think those kernels of truth will open up into a large plant of revelation. And we'll begin finding out exactly how bad this is. There's a reason why I've been completely shunned in America, why my viewership in America has been limited. And that's Mark. It's solely due to Mark and Mark's control over this network, which we relied on when we moved over here. He's keeping us open on the site, but he's limiting access. He's admitted to, I have him on tape recorded, saying he bans 350 million VPNs. I carry hardtack and jerky, yeah. My bug out bag includes hardtack and jerky and peanut butter pouches. So if you did eat crackers with peanut butter, that's a pretty safe way to eat. Yeah, well, there's a lot of problems with it. I would have gone to another server if I had the ability. I can't possibly go to another server because, for one, Twitch has banned us, IP banned us, claiming I'm a homophobe, which I'm not. They claim that somebody said, "Hey, David, are you gay?" And I said, "No," and I consider that assault. Mere asking me that question. And they immediately reported me to Twitch and claimed I was a homophobe, and that according to them, that violates their laws. You can't say that homophobia is a term of service violation. Not that I am homophobic, which I'm not. No, all our MRE packs are completely fresh and ready to go. I have backup cameras with all kinds of redundant servers. I've got SD card recording units at home. I've got all kinds of stuff. Even if I have a power outage, I'm still videotaping. I have a backup battery system. Yes, it is assault to ask somebody if they're gay. Yeah, it is. For one, it's not your choice to ask somebody if they're gay. What does their sexual preference have to do with anything? Why would you have any reason to ask somebody if they're gay? How is that your business? It's sexual harassment is what it is. I think Twitch is going to be prosecuted for terms of service violations. I'm going to be pursuing a case against them. But that's down the road. If everything works out, there's going to be absolutely no hesitation on my end to pursue a few investigations. If everything works out. Yeah, but if it doesn't work out and, we don't get the viewership we need, and I can always wait till the next election. I'm not getting old. I'm actually getting younger. All right, let me take a look at this story here and go from there. Gateway Pundit. All right, let's take a look. Pelosi gets personal, trashes Trump. Maybe he thinks shutdown means he can golf more. That's not how it works. Right. We all know that Nancy Pelosi wants to be president, so she wants to vie for a position where she can somehow impeach Donald Trump and Pence and get them in position where she can actually become the president. Is this the biggest nightmare you'd ever want to see, with a woman grabbing power? How did she make $26 million over the past few years, making only $190,000 a year? She's obviously on the take. Obviously. You too, Euro Punter. Happy Christmas to you and your lady. Merry Christmas to all of you. All right, so they're going to watch it. 2 Democrat leaders were outraged at the president's threat to shut down the government over the border wall. Oh, I bet. Well, I had all kinds of great stuff on my computer tonight, but I can't use it, so I've got to use this. And it's downloading, breaking video. I don't think they're worth the time to put on the screen, so. The big story really is the Dow Jones dropped 464 points today. Yeah. And what it does tomorrow will really be a big determiner as to where it's going next week. Remember, I'm on record saying that the Dow may very well get back down to $10,000 eventually. I believe that. I'm preparing all of us for the reality that our country has been overly expanded with credit, and we will have to contract to our real value, whether you like it or not. Is it alarming that a woman who can barely articulate a sentence properly is still in power in a party that's completely useless? I don't require $75,000 an hour to step out my front door. I require $75,000 an hour to go to a speaking event. No different than what Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton would have charged. And I'm not personally pocketing that money. That would go toward expenses, and all of our activity would be completely covered with security forces. I'm not taking any chances on this third party. Yeah, I'm not exactly like Robert F. Kennedy or John F. Kennedy. I wouldn't go out into a public area and speak in front of you without proper security. I think Wall Street will rebound. I have great faith that there's going to be some profit taking. We'll probably see an upsurge of the market next week. This is just them thinking that they're going to drop the numbers to get people to buy in, and then all of a sudden see a big resurgence in demand for stocks, and then another hit. I think they're playing games with us. I think the average investor is doomed. Okay, Michelle Obama's, she's secretly wants to tell people she's a dude, I'm sure. I think it would be a big thing for her to go out and come out of the closet and admit she's a dude. Well, the Michelle Obama Transgender Guide is out and available for $11.96 right now. Yeah, I'm not sure what it says, but it's compiled by Richard Saunders with publicly accessible documents from the President Obama administration. The book reflects on the historic steps the former First Lady and the last administration have taken to afford a greater protection for this minority community of LGBTQ. I know, 185,000 in grant opportunities by the CDC for HIV protection among transgender people and gay and bisexual men. Yeah. That's quite a book. She should be proud. Or rather, she should be proud. She should be proud. Bouncy, bouncy. Yeah, I agree. It is headed into recession territory, but I think it's going to be a lot of profit grabbing up and down on the way down. Yeah. I think we'll have a few up days, luring people in, and then we'll see a basic drop day. But I still believe, and I'll go on record, that the Dow Jones will settle in around 10,000 eventually. It's been all about expansion and borrowing money. That's what it's been all about. Now we've got Pochiki in there drinking Be Happy. Pochiki. Right. Pochiki. I'm really glad that we've got, there is Pochiki down there. Hey, Pochiki. Pet cheetah. Okay, pet cheetah. It's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Oh, you got Pochiki Ice Blue. Ooh, Arctic alcohol. 50% alcohol. Wow. Look at you, dude. 50% alcohol. Well, you don't hesitate to enjoy yourself. A lot of people who are drinking themselves into a slumber have that's their choice. We have free will. Yeah. Yeah, great tune, REM. Well, thanks for that link about Michelle and transgenderism. Not that I care. Yeah, so the Dow Jones is entering a record territory in the negative direction, 22,859, as we continue to see reductions in confidence in this market with Trump as our president. It's great. If we can convince the American people that this is a group effort, not just Trump and taking my ideas, I think we'll have a chance. Right now, Trump just takes my ideas and acts like they're his own, and that's nice and dandy, but it's not exactly the real McCoy. We need the real McCoy to fix this country. I heard about the GoFundMe page, John. Yeah. I read the power will be out for about a month. Okay, if that's the case, then so be it. I'll deal with it. Okay? But the GoFundMe page for Trump's wall is being handled. It's up to 9 million, going on 10 million. We hope we can trust this guy. David, how are you going now for 2 hours? Well, I have a hell of a computer. Oh, I know. The Dow went up quite a bit with Trump and all the Trump branding that Trump offered. No question about it. The Dow Jones benefited from Trump initially. I mean, there's no doubt about that in my mind. I even said on our show, Trump is doing very well with the Trump branding. But it only lasts so long. I mean, look at the companies he's bankrupted. They eventually go under. You can't maintain that flow. I had a guy homeless standing at Walmart today. I gave him a few slices of pizza, had leftover, and $1. Felt good to give him something. That's nice, Pet Cheetah. I didn't know that you had a Walmart in Hong Kong. Good to know. Mark has got a lot of money, and he got a lot of money not from selling VIP accounts. So you do the math. If you think it's okay for Mark to censor and dox people to get his money, if that's indeed what happened, then you are probably a person with bad character. If you think that Mark just did what anybody would do if they were offered big bucks to stop a guy from saving a nation, like I'm trying to do, if you think that's okay, then you're as bad as anybody who would take that money. So, taking a break, stretching out. No, I'm fine. As long as I think my neck will eventually have a wrench in it, so if I have to be over here, it's better. We could call Sarah, but I don't really want to. Yeah, I've got a cell phone here. This is a bug out cell phone. I don't use it unless I actually need it. I keep it off. But now it's on, and it's got, I really don't need to make a call. She knows how to call me. There's not going to be any power on tonight, I assure you. It's going to be till tomorrow, probably. Nope, she's good. Okay, you got a link there for Breitbart. Okay. Okay, we've got more information about the dossier. Now, I found out the dossier was published all the way back 2 years ago. I finally got a copy of it last night after reading that BuzzFeed is now perfectly legal. They did the right thing. They're vindicated in court. BuzzFeed is not violating any laws by talking about the dossier. John McCain. Ma'am, Barack Obama is not a Muslim, ma'am. John McCain confident that David Kramer gave Trump golden shower dossier to journalists. Wow. Okay, John McCain from the grave. The McCain Foundation executive David Kramer passed the infamous golden shower dossier to BuzzFeed in early 2017, so that's how they got it. John McCain. Now, we have yet to see the videotape of Donald Trump being peed on, but if it even exists. Now, Donald Trump did say to James Comey, I would never do that. I'm a germaphobe. This is ridiculous. It's all a Russian hoax. I would never have urination or anything going on. It's something to do with urination. Not our nation, urination. Yeah. But if it's true, I mean, there really is a urination tape that I feel bad for Donald to have to deal with that, yeah. But then again, it puts us vulnerable because the president's being manipulated by Putin. Okay? I think you all understand what's going on here. So, Donald, if you're listening, I want you to fire Pence and hire me. And I'll even talk like you if I can. Although you do yourself much better than I can possibly impersonate you. So I can talk like you, Donald, and it would be better. You've had like a mini-me in the White House. And I won't make any advances on Ivanka, even though she's a married woman. Especially since she's a married woman. So I'm involved heavily with Sarah. I would never cheat on Sarah. It's just a witch hunt, I'm telling you, the whole thing. So if Donald cannot get any serious attacks on his presidency by Mueller, and if he doesn't do anything to really talk about obstruction, then one of two things. Mueller doesn't have anything, or two, Mueller has been bought off. No, Stormy Daniels is not a man. Men don't grow double D boobs, even with hormones. I could be Donald's mini-me. I could go into aggressive eating and try to gain 80 pounds so I'd look more like him. And I could have my mouth kind of put in a sphincter position like this. Yeah, I just don't think Mueller is really capable of doing anything. They've got to have some dirt on Mueller. They must be controlling him somehow. Okay, we're starting up now. Man, I feel like exercising a little bit. No, Sarah's having dinner. I taught her how to cook propane on the propane stove, and she's having herself a dinner. I told her to make some hot cocoa. We have a propane stove as a backup in case of power outages, but it looks to me like those lines are going to be down a long time. And everybody in my neighborhood knows who I am now, because I've got my face hanging out here. There's that guy that wants to legalize pot. But the bottom line really is, Americans are going to have to get behind something that they could believe in. And it can't be fighting against each other to do this. We have to be unified on some levels. And I think we all know that we're going to lean toward the center in the upcoming election. I think we all know that. You got a 20-pound propane heater? Wow, that's good. Your trolling is getting more and more disturbing. Later. I guess that's your intention. Oh yeah, I'm a prepper. You betcha. I got my AC adapter here plugged in. Yeah, I'm getting more juice into my car. So far, we're holding on to the battery strength. When my battery gets to the point where it's too low to even jump start it into a new level, then I'll be shutting the show down. But so far, so good. Well, I think we got a lot of things happening. They're going to build a wall. Dave, I've asked 20 times, why did you put me on cam? Because you went on cam. Yeah, you can't go on cam and not be on cam. That's hilarious. He goes on cam, he says, why did you put me on cam? Yeah, I've got a half a tank of gas. I could probably run this show till at least 2020. We will break the wall. We will climb up the wall. The fence fund is getting a huge amount of money, They got $44,000 for the fence fund.
Final hours of Republican Congress. Yeah. Why now? Why 2 years later?
Well, you're right. We should have done it earlier. We should have done it in March on the big spending bill. We told American people we would. Then we said, no, we're going to do it in September. Didn't do it then on that spending bill. Then we said we'll do it on December 7th. No, we didn't do then. And then we said we'll do it on December 21st. We did it tonight in the House. I mean, just a few minutes ago it passed. Even though last week in the Oval Office, Nancy Pelosi said the House can't get the votes to pass a border security wall, funding for a border security wall. We just did a few minutes ago, got 217 votes. I think the Democrats had 185.
Okay, everybody, I'm up and running. Yeah, this is my Honda Insight, so she's great. Sarah Palin is doing great. Audio's up. I'm not a Pelosi fan either, Rick. I think she's outworn her welcome. There's something wrong with a woman who made $26 million and only $190,000. Gosh, how can you possibly survive on $190,000 a year? Even if she banked all that money every year she's been in Congress, she still wouldn't have $26 million. So something's not right about Nancy Pelosi's funding. We're concerned that these people are getting bought off. But we're right on the edge of broadcastability. The edge of broadcastability. Everybody's good. We're married to Sarah, but she's doing great, yeah. Mitt Romney's coming back, yeah. He's going to be running again in 2020. Are you serious? Nancy Pelosi's net worth is $120 million, Real Magoo? Well, we were misquoted. We thought it was $26 million. Now we're finding it's $120 million. Wow. That's really an eye-opener. Thanks for checking, Real Magoo. So she made way more than $26 million. According to Real Magoo, she made $120 million on a $190,000 salary. Something is not right. Nancy Krukuski. Her parents, her dad was in politics, and he was charged with numerous cases of civil crimes for, corruption. You did a Bing search? Okay, Real Magoo just did a Bing search on Nancy Pelosi, and it's not $26 million. It's $120 million in net worth. That's just unbelievable. Thank you. Lulz, please stop the crap with Sarah and I kissed her goodbye for the night, and I said, I'm going to do the show alone. You stay at the house. I don't need to drag you into this. And I can't do a show with Sarah in this car because it takes up too much space. The computer is sitting where she would be sitting, and we'd have to hold the computer somewhere, and it's barely enough room where we are right now. So, yeah. Dave, are you in your car for the heat? No. This is a fairly temperate storm, but winds as high as 70 miles per hour across the Pacific Northwest knocked down countless power lines. They're going to be spending all night long getting this thing hooked up. It's crazy how much work they have to do. I drove by, I saw these lines down. It's just crazy. Yeah, that's why I'm doing a car cast. Yeah. All right, so, yeah. What you need to have is organic peanut butter snack bites like this. And what I do is I put them next to my body for a good 5 hours, and that softens them up, especially if they're hard as tack. She's great, yeah. I have plenty of access to, I don't really need an RV that gets 5 miles per gallon, but thank you, considering you haven't donated a penny. I can't use your donation to put it into gas tank and go 5 miles per gallon down the road. Well, I have a tremendous bladder. I built it to withstand the possibility of a show where I have to actually, do a show from my car and sip a little bit of water. Yeah, Sarah's doing great. No, peanut butter is not that bad. No, no. Peanut butter does not go rancid. In fact, if you got some Jiffy peanut butter and put it in the closet, it'd be as good as new 20 years later. That rapeseed oil really keeps it like forever. Oh yeah. You didn't know that? This is all organic though. Dark chocolate chewing granola bar. I got these for $0.10 a piece. I get wholesale food items that are past their due date. I don't know if you can see a due date there. Due date. Nuts do go rancid, but if you put peanut butter with oil on it, it doesn't go rancid. All I'm saying is that I've had peanut butter that's 27 years old that tastes like it was brand new. I got it at an organic food store and it had the separation in it. The ones that separate are pretty good because the oil stays on top, it doesn't contaminate below, and it seems to last a lot longer. Yeah. Joe Pesci, I don't blame you. He masturbated in the Cross Bronx traffic today. If you really are Joe Pesci, you should be ashamed of yourself. Organic means no pesticides, for all of you who don't know what organics mean. Yeah. If you're one of those people that thinks that Christmas is just around the corner and I don't even have a Christmas presentation, I've even got that covered. Look at that. Christmas on your finger. For those of you who are heavily involved with your hand, this finger is a big part of your daily life. Merry finger, everybody. Yeah, it lasts as long as MRE's peanut butter does. It's one of your best go-to foods for a longevity. Peanut butter and crackers. You know the best crackers to get for survival is Akmak. Akmak crackers. Well, I'm telling you, Akmak is made in Sweden, and they're very good because they have a toasted wheat taste, and they're made from organic wheat. Yeah, and the Swedes know how to make the cracker. Akamaka cracker. Yeah, this is a product that many of you have probably seen in the markets that you just said, oh, I don't want to buy it because it costs $2. Well, if you buy these things and stick them in a backpack, pull the boxes off. Put these, take the plastic out, put them stack them in a backpack in a solid container because they take up way too much space. In fact, you could put about 4 boxes in one of these boxes. But that's the cracker of long-term survival. Organically grown whole wheat flour, you put peanut butter on that, you'll be eating forever. I do like eggnog. It's also fattening. Sarah and I are trying this new coconut eggnog. Yeah. You brought homemade finger puppets to show and tell. It was not a hit. Okay, well, you weren't really with the right audience, Rick. Yeah. So I'm trying coconut eggnog this year, and we bought a lot of organic coconut milk. We're going to mix with that. Non-GMO. I'm going to go with a low-calorie coconut eggnog. Yeah, it's eggless, I guess, or whatever. I don't know how they make it, but it should be good. Yeah. I know. Thank you. Okay, B&O News. Akmak's been around for a long time. If you ever want to get a really tasty cracker, that's the one to get, and put it in survival food. I'm thinking of buying a bunch of it and stacking it in my backup system. Okay, everybody, we got more good news. Trump is ordering another return of our troops. I think Trump has been watching our show quite a bit because I've been talking about how we need to privatize our presence in Afghanistan. Yeah, I think he's listening to us. That's great. Breaking news. We got it right here in front of you. It's right out of the hopper here. Whoops. There's my camera. Well, let's be clear. Let's be totally unclear. Trump orders more than 7,000 U.S. troops in Afghanistan to return home. Wall Street Journal. Really, that's awesome. Good job, Trump. You're winning favor among a lot of people. Yeah. No, I'm not doing McDonald's because I'm on a diet right now doing the show. I wish I could order pizzas. I would love to eat a pizza right now. Oh, sorry, sir. No, I'm just sitting here in this parking lot broadcasting my TV show. Yeah. Oh, no, sir. No, I don't have any weapons on me except for my buck knife, which is a legal requirement. I keep it to defend myself here. Oh, put your weapon down, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we're good. Don't ever present a weapon when a cop comes to your door. I know. I'm getting something on my leg here. I've had the AC adapter on my leg for the past 2 hours. I think I may come down with something dangerous. I better put it over here. That's crazy. That's crazy. My knife is non-GMO organic, yeah. It was grown without pesticides. Well, I don't want to miss your chat because everything's like pearls of wisdom. Thanks for that B&O news. If you get any BO news, I'd like to hear that too. General Mattis is like General MacArthur when he wanted to nuclear bomb China in the 1950s. No, General Mattis wrote a very nice resignation letter. He'll be leaving November 19th. He's giving us some time to leave. Sometimes the generals want to escalate the conflicts. Yeah, I think Trump's doing the right thing. We're downsizing our military operations. At a good time, too, because I know that there are private mercenaries that want to do the work of guarding opium. And I don't think our U.S. military needs to do that. You'd think? Yes, I don't have a blade longer than 3 inches. No, that's a 3-inch blade. Have you ever seen a 3-inch blade? Oh, I better not show it to you then. Where are new laws made up? Mostly in Democratic headquarters. They have a steam room where they sit and talk about how they're going to screw you taxpayers over. Yeah. No, I've never committed a crime in my life. Nor will I. I'm not like many of you people. I'm not materialistic. I have everything I need. I have power outages on my island, which I didn't need, but I guess I have those too. Nope, I'm not a cheater. I'm not a criminal. I don't lie, cheat, or steal. I'm a person with moral integrity at the top of the spectrum. There's nobody better than me. I am one step away from elevating into space and becoming your deity. I've never assaulted any viewers at all. I've only been fair. John, you were banned and muted at an appropriate time to stop the incessant ridiculousness of your chat. No, I'm not technically violating any Federal Controlled Substances Act unless you actually prove that they have enforcement over state laws that are already in place. I confer to the 10th Amendment, and the 10th Amendment protects my right to smoke marijuana legally, as it does everybody around me who's smoking recreational marijuana. I don't have a warped sense of humor, no. It's very grounded. I don't want to visit the ISS because I know studios that are underwater are relatively difficult to get to. And I don't trust the actual trip underwater to get to the ISS studio. So I'll just take their word for it that they're filming underwater. I don't know. Trump shouldn't have to cheat. He has Melania. She's a beautiful woman, and I don't see how anyone could possibly not be attracted to Melania. I'm not, but it's because I'm involved with someone else. You didn't get muted. I just muted you. David, I think I've been doing good on one cigar in 11 hours trying to stop smoking. Good going, Delvin. Try to stop smoking. Try to stop smoking. You know, cigars have a high risk of mouth cancer. You wouldn't want to lose your mouth, man. No, I never snuck into a national park without paying. That's one of my beefs with the National Park Service. Last night I unveiled my new plan for the Conservation Corps, the Civilian Conservation Corps. It's FDR's concept, but I want to bring it back. I want a lot more people earning a living helping with our parks. And we will be phasing out our Park Service as we know it. Unfortunately, DNA manipulation is counter to human survival. You have been banned. Anyone who thinks they can manipulate the DNA of our genotype is a fool. Who needs a mouth when you have a technology like I've got? A gaming laptop with 1 megabyte upload speeds. Dogbone, we had power outages throughout the entire island. I'm still getting winds of 50 to 60 miles an hour. Thankfully, I'm not in a terrible crash zone. There's no trees around me, so I'm safe. And I will be taking my life into my own hands just driving home because it's so dangerous on the highway. Nope, I've never done anything bad in my life. Like I said, I'm one step away from being a deity in my own eyes. No, that's not true. We're at power outage time. You don't have to make me a deity, but I am the best you can get. There's nobody out there as good as me. That's one of the reasons why professors hated me so much. They knew I was telling the truth. Nope, never did. No, I don't do anything bad. I'm always maintaining constant awareness of the road and its safety. Like I have a perfectly good vape pen here that I could easily hit on some of the best marijuana in the entire world. On this vape pen is a cartridge that the THC on it that's more than enough to make me go to sleep if I have a problem sleeping. So even if I were trapped in my car and I had to sleep here in the car, the vape pen would get me through the night. No, I've never heard of self-deception, not the way you describe it. I carry it around as a plan to deal with tragedy. Well, if you don't have a vape pen in a recreational state, what's the point of having a vape pen? This is Fat Panda in here. I picked up a... No, I'd never drive stoned. Never. That's why I would sleep it off and wake up in the morning and be okay. Nope, Sarah and I are in great terms. I kissed her and we're doing great. But in this little container is a thing called cake butter made by Fat Panda. And all you have to do is take a small amount of this, highly concentrated. I think it's like 88% THC. And all you need is a small, like the pinhead size on your vape pen, and that's enough to make yourself travel to a happy place and go to bed. So I'm actually prepared to survive on the road. Now, Pet Cheetah, he drinks heavy alcohol, which is playing hell with his liver, to get the same effect. And being I'm not a pothead, I'm a vapor, you are a complete scumbag who probably will never end up being, in our room again. I don't need to. I've got everything a man needs in life. It's a type of resin. It's like a dab, yeah. And oils come out a lot faster. No, I'm doing good. I got 2 organic peanut butter bars, my bug out bag ready to go. I've got THC on board in my vape pen, so I'm not short of THC. I'm very close to a recreational marijuana supply store, so it's not like I would have any problem, enjoying life. I got $100 in my pocket that I can, go to, and I could get money at the bank if I need it. So exactly what's wrong with life in America right now if you have everything you need? I do have Italian seasoning in my bug out bag. I carry a small amount with me in case I have to make some Italian meals. Sarah never locked me out. She's spending time at home working on her master's degree while I talk to you people. Well, it's not a wig, it's my hair, but thank you. I knew you'd like it. You want to see my my hat too? Kind of like Crocodile Dundee. Well, she has a thing called an LED light. Are you functionally retarded? Do you not know how people use LED lights? Or are you functionally retarded? You can tell me. It's okay. You're among friends. What the hell? Hello, mate. Oh, I put it on the barbie. Oh, I head over to Melbourne and put it on the barbie. Anyway, I think we went over that subject quite a bit. And she hasn't called me, so I know I don't have any power at home. And I know from just looking at the power lines that this power situation is bad. It's bad news, man. Are you retarded? Would you like to have a normal chat conversation with people of your high IQ? Well, I recommend that you go to any one of the other channels in the show on Vaughn, and you'll be able to get somebody matched with your intelligence. But if you're retarded, you really don't belong here. Frog Dog isn't even here, man. I got D-High in the room and Pet Cheetah, and D-High does not want to be on camera. And Pet Cheetah is getting completely crap-faced on some pretty serious alcohol. Yeah. All kinds of stuff going on here. Day by day. Oh, are you retarded? No, I'm a genius. But if you're mentally retarded, I understand your pain. I've talked to people like yourself before. Glenn has teeth? Really? I didn't know he had teeth. What did you do, Dave? Nothing. Explain that. Stop using that stupid... Yeah, I have cell phone. Sarah is within cell phone. I can call her right now. She could talk, but why waste the time? I am not quite like a deity. I'm not, no. I'm not pretending to be a deity. I'm not like John Lennon saying I'm more popular than Jesus Christ. I never said that. No. I don't want to be worshipped as a deity. Dave, do you know that Mark has been on a week and you have 10 times the viewers? Well, yeah, because Mark is censoring me and he can't help. I'd have 100 times the viewers if he stopped censoring me. I don't need to contact Sarah. I've got a view of her right now on my screen. She's, yeah. I have her picture. She looks great. I know. It's great. This is amazing. I don't pee. My entire mainframe requires no liquid cooling systems. I am running on a very subtle wind-based system, clearing my hard drive of any potential fatal errors. No, I'm not stalking her. I just keep a picture of her in my wallet here, so I know, psychically know she's safe. Well, I mean, I could call her, I guess. You really want me to call her? Will you stop putting that crap in the show? No more of these things. It's causing my computer to mess up. Yeah, stop that. Okay, let me see if I can get her on the phone. This will be at least a unique experience, right? I don't know what the name of this cake butter is, but it's good. I haven't had it for a couple months, but I thought I'd bring it with me in case I get stuck out here. I am a workhorse. Okay, I'm dialing. Okay. Hello.
Thanks for calling me, Sarah Hart. I'm sorry I'm unavailable to take your call.
Well, apparently she can't receive calls right now because the cell tower is down. That's how bad it is out here. But at least she knows, and she'll see that I tried to call her, so she can call me back if she does get a cell phone signal. Okay? Okay, note to self. These things are $45. You can get them for as low as $10 now on the internet. This is a Cloud Pour M3, it's called. Cloud Pour M3. They have a cartridge in here that if you hit this, you can actually put weed in here. But if you hit this, it'll actually adjust the weed so you can get it to a new place where it hits the coil. Now, this is not something I would use for weed because it clogs the intake on this. But what I found that if you use this dab, like cake butter, made by Fat Panda. This particular product has so much concentration in it. You just put a little bit on the coil, and you hit the button. And I'm not going to hit the button because then I'd obviously be getting high, and I don't want to get high because I want to drive and illegally drive. So you hit it, and it just puts out a tremendous, vapor, which is virtually pure THC. Cake butter. Cake batter, whatever. The batter? Yeah, you're right. Batter, cake batter. Thank you. And this is something that will actually last for at least 3 or 4 hours if you want to, enjoy the experience, and then it'll dissipate from your body. No, vapes don't kill. In fact, the state of California is putting out false information about the dangers of vaporizers. California, like many of the democratically held states, they want people to smoke cigarettes so that they can make money on the cigarette tax. They're not happy that they're not making money on people vaping. So they made an effort to make it seem like nobody can vape because it's dangerous, but they can't tell you why. Vapes tend to have about we're talking nicotine vaporizers, they have about 5 or 6 chemicals in them, whereas a cigarette has 66 or more. You made Rick Simpson oil? Good for you, man. That's awesome. He really made some great stuff, Rick Simpson. Yeah, California is bankrupt by their own stupidity. So even legalizing pot, they didn't even get that right. They limited the THC level to 20. You can only get 20 THC. I can get an ounce of marijuana for $100 here with 23% THC. Even better than anything you can get in California. Okay, I'm glad they're doing that. But I mean, where are you going to find an ounce of weed for $100? Washington. You just can't take it out of the state. So I want everybody to know that the future in our country is going to be about recreational marijuana. Period. Whether you like it or not. You people are so stuck up on your own world that you want to judge everybody and make us all feel like we're criminals because we're simply smoking a little safe, naturally grown marijuana. It's absurd. So I'm pro-legalization.
What is up, world? I'm Joe.
Okay, I cannot... Crutch is talking about smoking 98% THC. I can't play that for you because, number one... Yeah. Mark won't let me play anything related to marijuana on the screen. People smoking it or imbibing it. I just showed you a vape pen. That's not illegal. I don't know. Vape pens and alcohol could be dangerous. It should have never been illegal. That's true, Rick. Well, there are only armed guards at pot dispensaries in cities because people have been robbed before. I have been in front of recreational supply stores many times, never seen a single person with a criminal record overtly try to hurt somebody. So I don't know where you guys are coming from. There is now an avocado listeria where, as if food itself, I mean, the government's not doing anything. The government's not doing anything to prevent food safety issues. They haven't even checked the water going into the contaminated romaine lettuce with E. coli in it. The FDA refuses to test the water the growers are using, but dear God, there's listeria on avocados now. Oh no, I love avocados. No, these places have never been robbed. No. People up here don't go out and rob people like you do down in LA. That happened once in Seattle. A guy got robbed. There's a case, a precedent for this. But it doesn't happen a lot. 17% of the 1,600 avocados tested did carry potentially harmful bacteria. Well, that's serious, folks. So wash your avocados before you cut into them. I'm going to definitely take this advice. Thank you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. For those of you who aren't religious, disregard the last statement. I'm not religious. I'm not a religious person, so. Good to know. Yeah, window. Well, no, I mean, everybody who's very gainfully employed by these pot pot producers, let me tell you their life. I've talked to a few of these people that, in our area. And they get pretty good traffic at these recreational supply stores. Yeah, I should know. I'm sitting in front of one. Hey, Everclear still has 5% water? Really? Good to know. Well, what happens is these guys who work here are so very well treated by their bosses that they actually, I don't talk about firearms the show, but thank you. Everyone who's been doing this recreational marijuana supply stores have been telling me that their bosses get these samples from all the vendors, and what they do, the bosses invite them all to their house and have a vape party. I'm serious. So they are sitting on so much weed, it's ridiculous. So the bosses just give them these free samples, and they just have a fantastic party. So all those recreational users and also sellers of this are at home enjoying themselves when they get the day off or they go to their party. You don't have angry employees wanting to steal from you. You have a lot of people that are just generally happy that they have something that takes the edge off in their life. The 10 people are watching me. Hey, everybody. I'm a car person right now. This is proving that I am human. It would be difficult for a robot to get in a car and do this. Yeah, isopropyl is good for cleaning, rubbing alcohol. 90% minimum. If you get something with less than 90%, like 70% alcohol, it won't cut the resins. Well, I vape probably once every couple days. If I have a problem sleeping, I'll do it. I find that indica really helps you calm down at night and sleep, because as you know, I'm pretty much a late owl. I stay up till 2:30 in the morning now. I was staying till 3, but I've got a way to upload the video and then go to bed. But I don't have a Toyota Corolla. I used to have a Toyota Corolla. My family did. But no, I have a Honda Insight. This is a little Honda Insight from 2000. Weed has been doing very well. Sales of weed has been, even in a state like ours where this tax is like 42% total, they're still doing very well. That means that $100 ounce that they probably bought for $60 in order to sell it for taxes and profit, or $50. Okay, here we go. Marlboro owner Altria invests $1.8 billion in a cannabis company called Cronos. Exactly. That's what we're talking about. Marlboro is not fooling around when they put $1.8 billion in this. That's why they know that this is going to be a really big boom for America's economy. Yeah. The price of weed has dropped through the floor, yeah. Like I said, you can get $100 ounce in the state of Washington. That's 23% THC. $100 ounce. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, we're talking a big boom for this economy. And when people realize this is something that's medicinal, it's helping them, they're gonna want to do this. So Oregon's wholesaling pounds for $500. There you go. Well, the tax is about, no, you never find marijuana growing at 50% THC. The highest marijuana THC level that I've ever seen is 29%. The derivatives of the THC, like dabs and liquid forms, oils, they can go up to 98, 99% THC. David, why are you focusing on weed tonight? Because the new technologies are showing a tremendous growth in the economy due to marijuana. Technologies like the company that made this particular product that I showed you, Fat Panda, has a company out there in the tri-state region that makes these liquid forms of THC called cake batter. And this is like a resin. They make this stuff with technology like you wouldn't believe. They've got huge apparatuses that have been built in order to heat things up safely and then melt them down and then extract any carbon-based hydrocarbons from the mix so that it gets the purest THC available. Well, I want something that strong because I don't want to breathe the fumes of marijuana, because marijuana has a lot of resin in it. We've got power outage information. Yeah, Snohomish County, PUD. Thanks for the tips, but I'm pretty sure we're out of power still. There's just people out here, you know, hanging out. You can't see anything because the window's fogged up, so. But yeah, what you want to do is get something like that so that one puff, that's all you need. Three hours later, you're still happy. Yeah, California will come down in price as well. As we see more and more product, you'll see a lot lower prices. And you'll be able to see products like I just showed you in mass sold worldwide. So California Primo Bud from Humboldt, once it's legal, because there are a lot of growers that are still growing illegally, thinking they're going to, you know, not integrate into legal marijuana in California. This is a growing, various ideas are growing that will lead to a growth economy in every state, from derivatives to edibles to medicinals. Now, I just described 3 product lines, and I haven't even added textiles and hempcrete. So you add hempcrete, which can be made into concrete, very strong, made out of hemp. You add the potential for textiles, which, you know, hemp fabric is being used and people love it, super durable. And then you add the edibles, people eating cannabis, CBD oils to help maintain health. Then you add your medicinals, which are people using CBD oil for health, like it cures skin cancer 90% of the time. And then you have all that dab derivatives, which are used for, you know, people smoking a small amount. When they buy it in mass, this stuff is going to be a very big, high-value product. So I don't think we're going to be in any way going away from marijuana. We're going to be embracing it, and I'm glad to be the first person to actually encourage it nationwide. I was actually sitting there talking to a guy named, well, his real name wasn't Bud, but he called himself Bud. But he talked to, back in the 1980s, I even played Wally George's interview with this guy, Bud Green. And I think it was 1980, I'm thinking 86, 87, maybe even 82. He went on Wally George an hour after he talked to me. I was talking to Bud Green an hour before he went on Wally George, and he was out there promoting, you know, legalization back as far back as 1982, 83. Bud Green. Yeah, I don't know if he's still alive, but I was talking to him an hour before he went on the show. We had a nice time. We smoked a bowl together, believe it or not. It was pretty amazing. So I've been promoting legalization all my life, ever since I can remember. I started smoking marijuana when I was 21 years old. And many of you who've never tried it will someday try it, and you'll go, wow, I didn't know this was so fun. And it's not going to destroy you. You are liking the automotive edition. Cool. Well, it's basically weed talk with Dave, you know, because lack of another term. We're dealing with a few big stories in the news. just to recap, General Mattis is going to be retiring from his job. He's leaving. He gave good notice. He'll be leaving February 19th. Donald Trump is pulling troops out of Syria, which was my idea, and out of Afghanistan, which is another one of my ideas. So it's a good thing. I think we're making some progress. The Dow Jones, though, took a big dump tonight. Over 400 points down. So that's basically a recap of the news. Okay, getting into our iVlog show. I'm glad we're pulling out. I am too, Pet Cheetah. Bring them all home. Yeah. We've had a wasted policy in Afghanistan and in Syria. I can't say our position in Iraq is a waste because we did have to retain it in order to maintain security for the people that did establish a government there. Well, if you smoke 4 grams, you must be very high. You don't have to smoke a lot of weed to get high, folks. And I'm going to tell you something that many of you don't know. But if you keep smoking weed, you're going to build a tolerance to that. It's better to go without it and then try a little bit once you've gone without it for a while. Much better. And it's safer for you to do that. Yeah, I came to kind of an epiphany the other day. I realized, well, Donald Trump has been taking my ideas. He's been using my ideas, claiming they're his own. And I don't really care. I don't care anymore. At one point I was upset, but at another point I just, if my ideas are helpful for America, and they're good ideas, then let's keep doing them. So Donald, if you're listening, I want you to continue taking my ideas. It's perfectly okay. I've been censored in my own country for 10 years, in a country that claims to be free and democratic. Do you realize the hypocrisy and the irony of all that? We're not free and democratic if we censor our own people trying to build a coalition. So I'm very angry at that. I'm more angry at the system for allowing this type of thing. Here's Bud Green lighting up on Joan Rivers. This is funny. There he is, Bud Green.
Tell me who you are and what you have to say.
My name's Anthony, and I can't see your eyes. Are you stoned now?
I've worshipped the Lord before, yes.
How many hours a day do you stay high?
I try to worship 2 or 3 times a day because you know what? You can never worship God too many times.
Questions? Yeah. But you claim...
defilement whatsoever. That means if you believe in the Bible and if you're a true reverend.
Praise the Lord, everybody.
He's lighting up. That's hilarious. He's smoking a joint on Joan Rivers. That's hilarious. Anyway, I had a good conversation with Bud Green right before he went on Wally George, so that was fun. Yeah, I didn't know him that well. I met him that day at UCLA. And he just happened to walk into the co-op there where I was and hung out with the guy. And then he said, hey, I got to go. I got to do a Wally Green show. I said, a Wally George show. And I was going, okay. And he took off. And an hour later, he was on that Wally Green show, or Wally George show. Wally Green show. Yeah, hemp cars could be very good, like plastic. Henry Ford made a car made out of hemp. You see, folks, we've been lied to all our lives about the dangers of marijuana. Reefer madness was designed to make people think it was really bad. Yeah, I keep calling it Wally Green. The fact is, marijuana has no physical addiction. There's no come down effect when you stop smoking. You won't go through withdrawals. That's a good thing, because there's countless drugs out there that if you try once, you'll be addicted. I mean, there's super powerful drugs like fentanyl that have got to be pulled off the market because they're so dangerous. Yet marijuana has nowhere near the danger factor that those drugs have. So Right, and Henry Ford developed hemp-based building insulation, which we should have been using all these years. I call it hempsolation, but if we had hempsolation in homes, we wouldn't have as much mold damage. Hemp is a natural anti-mold capability. Yeah. I haven't started, so yeah, I could stop because I haven't started. Anytime. I don't smoke marijuana on a daily basis. Like I said, I have a vape pen if I want to, enjoy it, if I am ever anywhere in this recreational state. But I definitely avoid, doing it because I prefer the high when you haven't done it for a while. Well, the government shut down marijuana in the 30s when they created the Marijuana Stamp Act. And they did that because William Randolph Hearst had a huge investment in lumber, and lumber was used to make paper, and he realized that if they made hemp, they would automatically take away his business, because hemp is 5 times easier to grow than lumber and 5 times more profitable for people to make paper or textiles. So lumber and newspapers and Randolph Hearst caused the Marijuana Stamp Act. Then in the 1970s, Richard Nixon signed the Controlled Substances Act and added marijuana to the list, even though it's not addictive and it's also medicinal, which means it shouldn't be on the Schedule I list of controlled substances. Completely illegal what the government did over the years. And they refused to test it to see if it was safe. They got away with it. They managed to convince the American people it's dangerous. So people come in our show who say, oh, it's very bad, it's very bad. You have no idea. It's so beneficial. It's preventing people from That's weird. Wow. That's freaky. That's one hell of a large truck. I'm in an industrial area, so you never know what's going to fly by you. Let me start my car again. I just bought a brand new battery for this car, so it should have no problem holding on. The bass is incredible, I know. Great mic. Now I got the engine running. I don't know what the rumbling is. That's what was concerning me. It sounded like the refinery blowing up. You got the Ford hemp-based car, right? Look at that. Would you look at that? Just look at it. Henry Ford. This guy was a guy who sided with the Nazis, but I don't mind telling you that he seemed to have a good idea here.
Impact strength was 10 times stronger than steel.
There it is.
Henry Ford ran 40,000 vehicles on hemp fuel from only 10,000 acres. The emissions are what you exhale, and the next year's crop reconverts it back into oxygen.
That's amazing. See how tall hemp grows? Well, anyway, yeah, this is a pretty interesting situation because I'll tell you another thing that we can use hemp for. Water filtration. Now, hemp, the design of hemp is in the stock, it grows really fast. Let me turn this off. I'll let it charge up a little bit here. Yeah, the fibers in hemp can be used as surgeon masks, sure, absolutely. But the fibers in hemp are ideal for water filtration. Now, if they cook hemp stock cooked at 350 degrees for 1 hour, it becomes a great carbon filter. I anticipate this being a big, huge boom for our country to make very affordable water filters and air filter systems. Hemp is going to be an integral part of this. It mimics the work of graphene. It's graphene-like. So I'm glad I'm in my little my little Honda Insight. It's well made. I've got a roll bar in this thing. It's 100% natural, that's right. I've got a roll bar in this car. Because the industrial area is the only way I could get decent electricity. Everything else is knocked down. The entire island is down on electricity. It's like waiting at a truck stop for sex. No. All I can tell you is that the hemp itself, the stalk, gets about this wide. And you saw trees of it just a second ago. And you could cut that stalk and then bake it in an oven for 350 degrees for 1 hour. And then you take a slicer and slice it off in thin slices, and you create filtration media that's designed to filter. Because remember, the growth of the plant is through osmosis, and osmosis is very fast with hemp. There's nothing genetically designed better than hemp to suck water up into a stalk. So conversely, it works as a filter with water going down into it. It filters particles out better than anything. So we have a really big future in hemp filtration. And I want to tell you, this is technology that is yet to be born. They're just talking about it. There's a lot of work to be done. The Boy and Slat work of creating a plastic waste digester out in the ocean is very much in its early infancy right now. But as we move forward, we should be seeing a lot more aggressive plans to get plastic out of the ocean. Within our lifetimes, if I lead this nation, we will begin to see a reversal of the pollution and devastation that's happened on the planet. That's my greatest goal. It's going to be huge. And we're expecting a huge change in our system, but we've got corruption at the highest levels preventing that from happening. People are profiting at a high level from our government. And these are people that'll work for $5,000 donations. They're like prostitutes. And they're giving away the most important resources we have to corporations that are just desecrating the planet. We can't continue to allow this, and the Democrats have done nothing to stop it. The Republicans, they encourage it. Donald Trump literally took over 80% of the Utah national parks and gave them to contracted industrial polluters who are mining gold out of mountains using cyanide. Right, ProTroller pulled a bunch of stuff. The Ministry of Hemp talks about water filters. Good. The hemp microfibers capture and killed 95% of bacteria and microbes without leaving toxic residue. That's great. ProTroller has the info on that. Good. Thank you. I can't believe I've been able to do a show with this limited bandwidth. I mean, they literally only have a megabyte upload speed at most. You normally need about 10 megabytes to do a show, but I've been able to pull this off, and I'm recording the broadcast, so I'll be uploading it to YouTube as soon as I get power in my house. But ProTroller, yeah, good point. Right, hemp is definitely that totally. Dave, why are you in your car? I had to do a show from a remote location. Every night that I do a show, I'm committed to the endless broadcast. And one of the reasons why we ban you from the show is because you people are trying to stop my broadcast. And you people think that you can come in here and denigrate the show and think you're going to stop my broadcast. Not only rain will not stop my broadcast, sleet will not stop my broadcast, tornadoes will not stop my broadcast. You certainly can't stop my broadcast. I don't think we can open up our borders. They've got a population increase of 31% south of the border. There are people that are afraid that this movement is still growing and they can't stop it. Those are the ones that are paying people to stop us and censor us and dox us. Yes, hemp doesn't just filter water. It actually kills the bacteria that grows, it prevents bacterial growth. It prevents mold growth and hempsolation. I could dedicate the entire technology show to hemp, and I'm doing that right now. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, if you've got people talking about hemp all over the country and you've got 74% of American youth age 18 to 25 wanting legalization across the country. You can't stop the guns here, buddy. We all support gun rights. You people that are sucked into gun control don't realize that taking away guns actually increase crime. You don't get that. You're so stupid. You believe the Democratic lie. Or the Democrats lie, not the Democratic lie. Yeah, with all the money they spend $26 billion a year at the DEA to stop marijuana from being grown. $26 billion a year at the DEA, and Donald Trump can't even build a $5 billion fence? This is ridiculous. It's utterly absurd. You Democrats ought to be ashamed of yourself. Nancy Pelosi, we didn't give you a mandate. We wanted you to look into impeachment, not declare amnesty for illegals. I don't know where you Democrats think you're going with your temporary victory in the House, but we wanted impeachment processes to pursue. There's no fun in stopping Americans from trying to save their country. You're a scumbag, Dr. Disrespect. You yourself are a scumbag. Anybody who tries to stop this show is a veritable scumbag by nature. We're the best people out there fighting for the best solutions for this country, and you have the audacity of thinking you're coming in here stopping us? I am like a train moving at a high speed, and nobody's going to stop me. This 10-year commitment to this show is just the beginning of my effort to save this nation. I bet he made millions with injection molds. They're dangerous. Yeah, and all that crap at McDonald's, injection mold, toys, all that stuff, that's got to stop. We can't possibly allow styrofoam to be made anymore in the way that they're making it. It's crazy. Styrofoam is unbiodegradable. There's nothing biodegradable about styrofoam. You can reuse it on occasion, make insulation out of it, but by and large, everything that's coming out of there is gross. Well, I'm impressed, I'll tell you. I can't believe I've been able to do a show this long. I really am impressed. Classic. Well, I'm impressed that the technology has finally gotten to the point where I can get a laptop that runs so well that I can run a show off of less than a megabyte of upload. I'm impressed that I'm sitting in a high-end car, resisting rain and sleet, snow, you name it. Well, I'm trying to impress myself because I never been able to do this before. I've never had the ability to do a broadcast in a 20-year-old car that's as designed as well as the Japanese designed this Honda Insight. It's tight as a drum in here. It's the best vehicle I could ever imagine. I get 55 miles per gallon. But I think I am going to cut the show short, as in 9 o'clock, because I really want to get home and relax and enjoy the evening. Well, you know, the best thing to do with Italian seasoning is put it in the back of your trunk in a small container with the rest of your pasta. And get angel hair pasta. It's the easiest to rehydrate. No, I don't want to get home and get high. I want to get home and snuggle up with a beautiful woman who's waiting for me to spoon with her. I think it's important to if you reach the age of, say, 35, you need to start thinking about meeting someone. I'm not driving right now. If I was driving right now, I'd be looking at the road like this. You really are retarded, aren't you? I can tell you, I have been censored for 10 years. You should know that effort has stifled my efforts to reach out to the American people. Well, you get whatever pasta you like and put it in your trunk with some Italian seasoning and a hot plate and some sterno. And you'll be fine. You'll make it through the apocalypse and beyond. Don't forget to carry some cans of tuna, canned chicken, canned sardines. And in the case of pet cheetah, be sure to bring about 2 gallons of vodka wherever you travel. Because I don't think you'd make it without 2 gallons of vodka. You wouldn't last more than a couple days. I don't make stuff up about him. Mark is on record talking about being paid by Putin. I'm not making that up. No, I'm doing great. My car is in mint condition. I've got 235,000 on it, and it runs like a charm. Merry Christmas, everybody. Let me get my Christmas decorations out. Ho, ho, ho. We are in breakout mode because of the major windstorm that hit Washington. Power outages everywhere. I'm almost to the point where I can smell my own body odor. So I'm lucky my neighborhood has a backup generator for our water system. Yeah, we have a backup generator. I don't think Mattis is a bad guy. I think he's time to go, man. He's tired. Have you seen Mattis? I mean, I don't think a guy could even be remotely as tired as Mattis looks. His eyes, for one, indicate a man who's been suffering from gallbladder disease. This is indicative of gallbladder disease. I don't know if he's going to make it or, what's his deal, but yeah, his physical appearance is such that, this guy's probably, it's probably time to retire, He's had enough personal time, and he's done a great job. I commend him on his work defending our country. But General Mattis, you can see in the face, is a little bit old and tired in the eyes. You can see. You see those circles under his eyes? Yeah, that's a classic sign that he's got some sort of an internal illness of some sort. When you get bags in your eyes that are that deep. So I say get to a doctor, General Mattis, and you'll be fine. You and your wife can have a luxury life. Enjoy yourself. The only way that Trump could possibly revive his presidency, if they don't press charges against him, is if Trump seriously makes an effort to get me on board, call me up, get me in as vice president. It's the only way he's going to get a fresh new look on the 2020 race. The fact of the matter is, I am probably the freshest voice in American politics today. And only because I've done such a good job of maintaining a presence on the internet, integrating all of your ideas into our show, and maintaining a good clip. All right. Bye-bye, General Mattis. I'm glad that people are enjoying the benefits of the better parts of Donald Trump. Remember, a lot of people were bragging about all the money they made on their 401k. Now, you had an opportunity to get out of the market with your 401k, but many of you didn't. So now you're going to watch the 401k that inflated shrink back to what it was supposed to be. No, we have high winds in our area, Gunter. I explained that about 400 times tonight. Mattis thinks he's on a sinking ship. Maybe. I do believe that I could re-energize Donald Trump's efforts if he were to take me on as VP within this time period. If he made an effort to reach out to us and put me in as VP, I believe that we have a great future as a nation. I'm concerned that Mueller hasn't found anything substantive that we can call Russian involvement. I'm beginning to believe Donald Trump. No, there was a Russian hoax. It's all fake news. I'm beginning to believe him. Otherwise, Mueller would have presented something by now. So in my mind, the only way we're going to get out of this situation is if we embrace the fact that we've got a maverick president and maintain the fact that we have a brand new a chance for a new leader to step forward in America who's an average American, and give Donald Trump the respect that he seems to want. And you believe I'm more handsome than, well, thank you. But Mike Pence is suffering from weight gain. He's gained about 60 pounds, and he's got some serious issues. He's not exactly an integrated person. He doesn't have he has a very one-dimensional persona. Mike does. Mike Pence. He doesn't seem to be a man who can relate to the left at all. And I can tell you, I can relate to the left. I was a former Democrat. I even have some ideas that are leaning towards socialism. I'll admit that. I want to monopoly break up Google. I want Google to become democratized, where we have more people earning less money than the few people that are there making tons of money. I don't trust Pence. I don't like his conservative agenda. I feel that there's some major issues with him that just don't gel with the American people. I think that Trump is potentially going to be facing some charges if Mueller can get his act together. Like I said, we're in the 11th hour with Mueller. If he can get his act together and put together some charges that'll stick, I'm all for that. But I've tried tirelessly for I'm talking 2 years of discussing Donald Trump, 2.5 years of discussing Donald Trump and the Russian collusion. And I've seen facts thrown right in front of me that definitely point to collusion, money laundering, everything. If I were the prosecutor here, I would have been charging Trump with numerous crimes by now. I would have subpoenaed him for his tax records of 10 years. I would have probably charged him with obstruction of justice and possibly receiving bribes from people like Betsy DeVos, who claim that she gave him $9.5 million and the Republican National Committee $200 million prior to becoming Secretary of Education. That's bribery. I can see 5 or 6 felonies right now that Donald Trump has committed. Believe me, I'm not happy with this. I want the transition from Trump to another president, preferably me, to be the smoothest transition our country can have. And I can't do that hating Trump. If I spent my life hating Trump, it would be a waste of energy. I'm a very flexible person. I'm more than willing to be pragmatic about this and say, hey, bygones be bygones, let's move forward. What do you want to do? Let's do this. I realize that Mueller turns information over to prosecutors, but Mueller hasn't even subpoenaed Donald Trump for his tax records. That's a sign of weakness. I think Melania is a wonderful woman. I think Donald Trump is very fortunate to have Melania as his wife. She seems like an A+ individual. I think we're all fortunate to have Melania right now. And looking at Trump's family, I think we're fortunate to have Trump's family standing behind him. I do. I'm not all hate and disdain for people. I want you to know, and even you Trump supporters to know, that I'm here to help pick up the ball when it drops. That's how I see it. That's good. He may not need Trump's taxes yet. Great. If he's got more than enough information, I'd like to see one charge filed against Donald Trump in the next 6 months. Otherwise, Mueller is wasting 2 years of the American tax dollars. $25 million has been wasted on this. Well, I don't know if Trump is leaving because he wants good relations with NATO, or I don't know if Mattis is leaving because he wants good relations with our NATO allies. I don't think that's the reason. I think that's his parting statement. I think Mattis really is trying to help our country remain strong allies with NATO. There's no question about that, and I think we need to listen to his words as wisdom. Anyway, you probably realize that my ability to formulate a plan of action for America has been stifled by censorship. And if you're in any way aware of the amount of effort going into stopping us, you must be aware of the reality that I am seriously a threat to the status quo. They don't want me to have any power. Now, if Donald Trump sees the importance of seeing an honest American stepping up to the plate, giving great ideas, then he'll recognize the need to make me vice president of the United States. Thank you, Ghost of Seasons. Hey, I'm going to close down our chat procams tonight. I was shocked that D. High said that he didn't want to be seen on camera. Don't go on camera unless you want to be seen on camera. Period. Yeah, it's ridiculous. He's not praising Trump at all. He's telling Trump, I read the letter too in its entirety. He's telling Trump that he wants Trump to be strong with NATO, and I agree. I've been the one saying we need to lean toward NATO, not against NATO. They are censoring me. I've got people admitting that they're censoring me. You're just too stupid to realize it. That's why you keep getting banned in the show. God, what a dumbass. I know. I don't mind General Mattis leaving at this time. He's given a good 2 years of his time to this effort, and prior with Obama. I think we have to recognize the fact that General Mattis has been a big part of why Trump is still securely our leader and why we still have to move forward. I don't think many of you realize the importance of at least broaching the divide between the left and the right. There's never been a greater time for us to start finding commonality between us as opposed to differences. You can call each other names, that's fine. We can have differing opinions on every issue. That's fine too. But we all have to come to the realization that we're both here for a reason. We both carry a line of discussion or argument. We both have to really look at this big picture and say, what's best for a country? Do we need fiscally sound plans or spendy plans like the Democrats want to do it? Do we need a ridiculous, overzealous president who tweets all the time and creates problems with foreign relations? No, we don't. So we have problems on both sides of the political spectrum, no question about it. But if we don't look at this from a practical point of view, our country and all of us go down. That's the last thing we need. We have so much that other countries don't have. And we have so much rolling forward into the future that many countries are envious of. So, if the Russians want to sneak their way into our political system, we've got to find ways to stop that. Now, Russia has an economy the size of Italy or Spain. We have 18 times more revenue coming into our country than they do. So they're using every means possible to control our country and manipulate our country. And Donald Trump looked like he gave them a pass on sanctions over the past 2 years, or 1.5 years. Even today, sanctions are barely being deployed against Russia. Right, they have a smaller economy in the state of Texas. So these sanctions that our government's asked against Russia, he hasn't deployed, which means Trump is probably doing Russia's bidding for a reason. I still believe that Russia is in play here. Don't get me wrong. I don't think for a second that Trump is free of his Russian connections. But do you want our country to fall into the hands of somebody like Pence, who has no clue as to what he's doing and clearly is frightened by the role of being vice president? You can see it on his face. He's afraid. And I have a feeling they have dirt on Pence that they're going to use against him to manipulate him. And I think Pence is more of a liar. They had every chance to show the construction of their nuclear weapon to the IAEA, and they didn't do it in a timely fashion. Let's not forget that the Iranians did hide their uranium enrichment program for 10 years. And it was only until Israel exposed it and the neutron detonators that they have that led to this reality check. I was the one that said we shouldn't sign the treaty, but I also said that we could be working collaterally with the Iranian government and relax some of the economic sanctions. We don't need to lose that aspect of the deal. We cost us $150 billion in cash and credit for Iran. What Obama did was ridiculous. And what it led to, what Obama did do is allowed Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Yeah. Can you imagine? The deal was done, so Trump had no other choice but to cancel the deal. But I still believe that he should have relaxed the economic sanctions on Iran and kept only ones that were strategically important, like bans on the things that they made counterfeit money with, to fund terrorists. Because D-High, you don't want to be on camera, and you said turn on the guest cams, and then you tell me you don't want to be on camera, go away. You either want to be on camera or you don't. Thank you. The picture of my car, I can certainly show you a Honda Insight from the year that I bought this car. Anyway. Yes, we don't need one shred of evidence. We know that the Iranian government has not allowed the IAEA in for inspections. We know that the sunset provisions are no longer relevant in lieu of the fact that they were brokered to make Iran no longer have inspections. The car I'm in, I will show you, is right here. This is the car I'm in, except my car has pinstripes on the side. Racing pinstripes. It's one of the few cars ever made with the pinstripe option, which is the high-end option. Yes, let me give you a picture of it here. That's the car I'm in right now. That's it. Pretty cool, huh? No, the IAEA has not been in at a timely manner within the constricts of the contract that they agreed upon. And the sunset provisions have been very grossly in favor of Iran. They never should have been suspending evaluations of the enrichment process of uranium? It's a no-brainer. Barack Obama and John Kerry negotiated a deal so that John Kerry could profit from a stock investment. There's a stock investment out there. That's why John Kerry illegally went to Iran without the president's approval to negotiate solutions to his stock problem. He's not the only one who bought stock in Iran when he cut the deal with Iran. Susan Rice had $24 million in stock options. I know all about it. I've been investigating this story for years. We cannot possibly allow Iran to just get away with the construction of nuclear missiles without having the IAEA in there to inspect. It's that simple. I can't ask for much more, and we needed to ask for much more. Or disallowing Iran to do any business with us or our Western allies, that was overly punitive. And as a result of that mistake that Trump made, we now have a very big problem with the CFO of Huawei, this telecommunications giant in Asia, whose CFO, the daughter of the CEO, is now under, she's been arrested and then released on $10 million bail. And it's a huge problem that we need to make go away so that China can continue to proceed with good trade relations and we can start relaxing tariffs. So if Trump is able to renegotiate no economic sanctions against Iran, it would be retroactive and it would automatically release her. But we do need economic sanctions on certain things like rare paper that's used in making counterfeit currency. We need economic sanctions on dyes and inks that are used in making counterfeit currency. Because need I remind you that they actually made Yemenis banknotes and sold them on the world market illegally, and they ended up financing the sale of weapons to Hezbollah. Iran did. And Hamas. Hey, Zetterbeard, yeah, I'm in the car tonight because I have no power at home. We're bone dry back home. And we've had a massive windstorm that hit the Pacific Northwest, knocking out power all over the place. None of this was predicted, by the way, by our weather services. 2 days ago, we had a tornado in Seattle. And all of it came right after there were massive chemtrails in the skies above us. So we know they're manipulating the weather. We know that. Well, all I'm saying is Iran now has a nuclear weapon. We're $150 billion without money. We $150 billion, and Trump is asking for $5 billion for a fence. And the Democrats just gave $150 billion to Iran. You don't see that as a problem? You Democrats better get your head out of your ass soon because you're going down. Yes, there is evidence the deal was violated. The IAEA was not brought in at a timely manner. They missed the deadline by 3 weeks. It's a fact, geese. Go ahead and check it out, geese. It's a fact. They were 3 weeks off of the deadline to review and inspect their nuclear weapon. I'm not making this up. Recognize that there's no benefit for us to have a relationship with Iran, allowing them to have a nuclear weapon. Where do you Democrats get off thinking that that was okay? It's just crazy. How do you think that that deal was good for us? The only thing they offered the concession was they stopped making 500, or at least 50%, 500,000 centrifuges were shut down. 500 centrifuges were shut down. 50% of their centrifuges were shut down. That's the only thing that actually was beneficial to us. That's it. And that only delays the inevitable. So where are you getting off thinking that was a good thing that Trump or that Barack Obama put on paper? It's ridiculous. That deal was a strong arm. Thank you. You're right. Well, why should Iran have more than one nuclear weapon? They don't want us to look at their nuclear weapons because they know that they're working on more than one. And we have solid intel that supports that. The oldest food item I've ever tried to eat was a package of cod, salt cod that was in a box in the refrigerator for 20 years. And I opened it up one day and I said, Sarah, this has been on our refrigerator for 20 years. It went from house to house and we moved with it. And it was so desiccated that it was inedible. The salt cod was inedible. That's the oldest food I've ever eaten. I thought it lasted forever too, but not with freezer burn. That's proof enough. Iran swore death to America. I agree too much. Oh, yeah, people park next to me all the time. That's what people do in this area. Well, I will tell you exactly where I will tell you general where I'm parked in about 12 minutes when I finish the show. Unless you insist upon me doing another hour. Well, I think it is kind of funny how Trump wants to leave Syria and let Putin keep it as a strategic base, but frankly, I'm okay with that. Syria has been a waste of time for our country, and there's no reason why we would put another $1.16 billion into funding rebel troops in that region. I've never said that I've had sex with Sarah with a condom. That's a lie. I said I've always had protected sex whenever I've had sex. I don't talk about sex with Sarah. I don't think it's a problem us leaving Syria. We have no strategic interest in that region. It's not like we're going to lay a pipeline like Zbigniew Brzezinski wanted us to lay a pipeline through Syria. How absurd is that? Well, who wants to be our operator over at who wants to be our mod over at this this Vaughn site? Because I'll be attacked when I leave the show in an hour. Meta-Nemesis, do you want to be a mod tonight? Give him a sense of power. NRT wants to be a mod. Now you're too new. I need my old guys to be mods. Misanthropy's not in the show tonight, so. Roy Cephas, you're a little too new too. You're all great chatters. I'd make Anita my mod, but I don't think she wants to be my mod. I bet you would clean the idiots out. Alright, well we just won't have a mod then. He's trashed the room when I leave. Anyway, while we were doing a deal with Iran, while you say that they weren't breaking any laws, they did not get their IAEA inspectors in there. While they were doing that, they were also, and we know this for a fact, they were also printing up Yemenis money notes, monetary notes, that they sold illegally on the world market to finance rockets to Hezbollah that are aimed at Tel Aviv. Hamas has been outfitted with more weapons because Iran got that. Now, the Iranians are going to cheat. You want to address the Iranian problem, let's address how they cheat and why they cheat and their culture of cheating. Then we'll talk about whether we can trust the Iranians. Now, I've had dealings with Iranian people in business. I can assure you, they're not to be trusted. Although I've met some really nice Iranian people, in my life, their government is controlled by an orthodox group of people that really believe that we are all infidels and must die. Do you really want to let that country acquire more nuclear weapons? A suicidal nation willing to go to Allah in the event that they so choose, that Allah decides that they're the ones to trigger nuclear war with all other nations? Do you really want to put a nuclear weapon in the hands of suicidal radicals? Pitoro, hi, welcome. Yeah, I'm wearing my Land's End jacket here, which I acquired for $1 at the thrift store. and my $2.50 Cal Cotton shirt, my Stafford shirt that I acquired at the thrift store. Yeah. Pence would be scary. Pence is more likely to initiate global nuclear war than Trump, ironically. The government is the problem. Yeah, and I'm not saying the people of Iran are untrustworthy. I'm saying the government is. Well, according to you, the U.S. has no elemental morality. I say that we do. I say that the people of America are free of this corruption that you're claiming is so endemic in our corrupt government. I say we need to get the people back in charge of our government, and we will no longer be seen around the world as this horrible, dangerous behemoth. Really. Absolutely. We have a lot of people in our country that are moral. They are. But our leaders have become bought off. Hey now, Nero, promoting aquaponics. Hey man, thanks for coming in. I agree. Israel, when they attacked the USS Liberty, I think we should have definitely held him accountable. I am not pro-Israel. I am neutral on Israel. I'm not anti-Iran. I'm neutral on Iran. I want you to know that I'm not taking sides here. Unlike Trump, who's a clear Zionist, I won't let Israeli Zionists dictate foreign policy. But I will tell you this. I would support an airstrike to protect that region. I would support an airstrike Okay, thank you. I did get a text message. It says, no power yet. It's out still. Safe travels. I love you. Okay. Beautiful. How do you use these pads? They're like so small. It's crazy. This is ridiculous. You people that use tablets are amazing. Okay. I turned it sideways so I could type better on it. I'm typing, okay, I will be home by 10:30. You get to know the back button really well when you make mistakes. I don't think we have as much to worry about with Iran or Israel as you might think. I think we can work out something practical and relax economic sanctions in many areas with Iran that would not destabilize relations with countries like China as well. Okay, I sent her a message. No power yet. Okay, I will be home by 10:30. Love, David. Thank you. Cool. At least she got a text message through with this terrible cell phone connections we have. I'm not happy with Israel's treatment of the Palestinians. I really am upset about that. I agree to a certain extent that by limiting the treaty and not signing the treaty, we did open up Iran's chance of nuclear enrichment. But bear in mind, that's just a stall pattern. That's just a stall pattern we're in. We're putting off the inevitable. The bottom line is Iran is actively creating missiles. They have 9 missile factories in their country. Yet Iran does not have any oil refinement capability. Now you tell me why a country with so much oil production doesn't have an oil refinery, yet they have 9 missile factories. Explain that to me. I'm waiting. Go ahead. I have a tested IQ of 185. Goodbye. Well, the fact is Israel is coming down too hard on the Palestinians. Killing 61 Palestinians recently was an atrocity, and we should never ever support a country financially that's doing that. So what I propose we do is initiate a plan to get Israel to sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement. That's all we have to do. If they do not sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement, we will cease their payments of $3.5 billion a year. I also would propose at the same time the same idea for Iran, that they can sign the nuclear non-proliferation agreement, and in exchange, we will relax most economic sanctions against them. Sound fair? So those two ideas are front forward to get both of them back to the drawing table and get some action here. Extending economic sanctions against Iran is counterproductive and is only going to lead to problems down the road for all of our nations. Look what Trump is dealing with right now with the CFO of Huawei, the telecommunications giant in China. Now we have a problem politically with President Xi Jinping, and the outcome is not good for Donald Trump because he has no leverage. We need to get some leverage back. Don't hold their executives. Release them as an overture of good faith. Thank you. Well, Huawei is messed up. Canada should never have done that, but they were only doing that because of our orders to extradite her to the U.S. She's out on $10 million bail, but do you really think she has an incentive to leave China? She has no incentive to leave China. She can stay in China and she'll never ever face prosecution. It's a red herring, the whole thing. It is of no value. She'll take the $10 million loss and chalk it up to a business loss for the company. They don't care. It's a non-issue. And it's absurd that that should be standing in the way of good relations and a renewed faith in trade with China. Julia Gibson is 105 years old. That's cool. Olivia de Havilland is 102. No kidding. I did not know that, Delvin. Thank you for telling me. I'm sure Huawei is corrupt and they've been stealing technology from Cisco Systems. I know that. We're not going to put a handle on the theft of technology. They're only going to pay lip service to us. It's incumbent upon the people that created this technology to put hardwired safety factors involved. They didn't do that. In fact, it's come to my attention that the NSA may very well have servers that were designed in China. That's a serious problem when our rack servers are designed in China because there's a chip in there that may very well be a listening chip and a bugging device. We're so far down the road to not solving the problem that we really should be moving toward a better agreement on future trade with this country and not deciding that they're the bad guys here. China killed 18 of our top spies because of ineptitude within our own CIA and NSA in preventing our spies from being determined who they are. Over the past 10 years, 18 top U.S. CIA spies stationed in China were killed. You didn't hear that on the news, did you? Well, the fact is, China has no interest whatsoever in allowing spies in their country. Why would they? And they had every right to kill them if they so choose. But if we were to do what China did and ferret out all the Chinese spies and summarily kill them and execute them like they did, our spies, how would that play out? You tell me. China. So our serious security breach occurred in our area around 2001, I believe. 2000, right around 2000, before the 9/11 attack. The plane that was carrying top secret encryption's hardware, was taken down and landed. It's called the Henan incident. The Henan incident occurred, which led us to a breach in our security. I believe that was the source by which China reverse engineered our encryption capability and processed all these men and found all these men and women who were spies and killed them. Our country will not fess up to that. It was a tragedy when those men came back to a hero's welcome to this island where I'm from. And they were greeted with a hero's welcome when they had been traitors to our country. They should have downed the plane and jumped off the plane with parachutes into the water. That's the courageous thing to do. Instead, they let the Chinese take the plane and reverse engineer it. Okay, well, thank you. I eat few. If it wasn't the Henan incident, then if you're saying that the network of CIA spies were so easily distinguished from others, that they openly, overtly, then our CIA is not doing their job. It is quite presidential to talk about a show that runs every night regardless, and I'm going to purposely cast my full 4 hours on recorded show just because you're a piece of vile crap who came into my show. I got you out, but believe me, I'll do this every single time we have an air problem, wind problem. Many of these people who have absolutely nothing to offer our show come in here attacking us with no idea what they're talking about. I'm extremely well read, and I'm more than willing to back up every statement I have with truth. One of the reasons why I've done such a great job with my internet broadcasts, and I think many of you people have wondered about this for some time. I know. I don't care if there's a fat person behind me. The reason why the show is, yes, I'm going to do a full show till at least 10 o'clock, and then you guys have to find videos of your own. If you want to go to YouTube and look at our playlists, you can watch our playlists. But that's about all I can handle for you. If you want to watch the current playlist, it's new 1812. For 2018, the 12th month. Yeah, that you can do at 10 o'clock. Okay, we're going to remove you from the show, but you can come back again when you get your head straight. You're not allowed to post any Vaughn links here. Sorry. Doesn't happen that way. I have proof. I have more than enough proof to convince me that people are watching. Thank you. Right, we got half the troops coming out of Afghanistan. Trump is following my recommendations. Donald, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. But as far as Russian collusion is concerned and the PP tapes, if that pops up in the next 2 years, you're going to have to resign. Otherwise, Mueller has got nothing. Claiming that you violated a law because you paid off Stormy Daniels is not going to be a big problem for Donald Trump. You know, celebrating somebody's death is not cool, Delvin. You know, nobody wants to celebrate the death of somebody. I'm glad that the band is no longer in pain, okay? We had to do a mobile cast because I have no power in my house. It's completely messed up. We've got trees down. It's all screwed up. I believe you did hear me, Roycephus. Yeah. No, my proof of viewership is based on ancillary information that I've received from various sources. I have photographs of people setting up external... They've sent me photographs of people setting up external UHF transmitters. There are a lot of people that are broadcasting our signal across the globe, despite the censorship of the mainstream media. Yeah, but there's no reason to believe that there's no reason to believe that this effort is for naught. I'll tell you that. The word of mouth that's going on right now around the world about what we're doing is so important. People telling people about a third party. It's so important that this entire thing has a growth potential beyond your comparison. Anything out there can't even compare to that, what we've done. Word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising on earth. It's also undetected by the elites. They can't see what's happening. They don't know who's talking about who. They don't have ears in the ground. Well, muting lulls was just a 5-minute deal. He can come back. I didn't ban lulls. So being word of mouth is happening despite these scumbags that pay people like Donald, people like Mark, people all around the country. They can't stop me. It's out of their control. We've seen a growth rate across the country that's arithmetic in nature. It goes slowly. But we have an exponential growth rate around the world. And that's something that I think you have to recognize. AIPAC controls the mainstream media, and they're not going to give me a thing. They are afraid of my anti-Zionist perspective. But I'm more than willing to give Israel what it needs, air support, in case they are ever attacked. And I'm certainly willing to do whatever it takes to maintain the balance of powers in that region. For all of you who don't understand what a person with 185 IQ does on a daily basis, I'll synopsize for you. I do what makes me feel right. And I can tell you, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't stand up to this corrupt administration of Trump's. And I wouldn't feel right if I didn't stand up against the corrupt Democrats who are continually sucking corporate money and acting like they care and don't do a damn thing. If I don't have the ability to do this on a nightly basis, I would feel like I wasn't doing my part. My scores were in the top 98 percentile on my SATs. And I also graduated number one in my high school class of 770 students. I was the number one student. And on top of that, I finished 2 years of college calculus at the age of 15. I went to college at the age of 15. 2 years. I was in my second year of college calculus when I finished off at UCLA. Basically went on to UCLA and chose not to pursue mathematics, science, and I chose to do pre-law. And after encountering a hassle with my professors, I mean Marxist professors, I decided that UCLA and any other college didn't have anything for me. I do stand up quite a bit. I do. I did feel a little odd when I was in classes with 25-year-olds or 22-year-olds, and they were saying, "Why are you in here? You're 15." I felt a little weird. Yeah. I took college physics too. I skipped 7th grade. They pushed me forward because my IQ is too high. I couldn't be bored with the schools that I was in. I should never have gone to public school. Thank you, genius. So a lot of the people that come in here hosing our show down and criticizing us just don't understand what we're doing. They don't realize that this is a nonstop effort against corruption and censorship. They don't get that. And as much as I am a good person and have great integrity, they don't understand the importance of a person who's good with great integrity to lead the nation. They're so fully lost that they believe somehow that a guy with lots of money connections with Russia, and God knows what kind of sex tape is out there of him, would be a better choice for their country. You dislike the Marxist professors, yet you got 2 master's degrees. Well, good for you. I'm glad you got through it. It was a real trial, I'm sure. I never put great advancement on my priority list. I don't care to put a feather in my cap with some degree. I never really wanted to be known as a doctor or a lawyer. I simply wanted access to lead the nation. I wanted to lead the nation through raised awareness and a growing concern for the right thing to do. I never expected to have to go through it in such a circuitous matter that sent me into this circle where I couldn't join the Democratic or Republican Party because they don't want an honest person in there. They want somebody who will give them what they want, suck up to them. No, I mean that I was in the top 98 percentile in the country in my SATs. This is before SATs could be higher than 1,600 points. Now they can go much higher. They changed the tests, they lightened the rigor, they made them easier. That's why more people have perfect scores on SATs now. It's no joke, statistical fact that more people get SAT perfect scores. That's because they lightened the test scores. They lightened the rigor that they needed to put people through. I don't need to go to college to prove how intelligent I am. I do it every night. You people don't even hear me. The ones that are hating the show, you don't even hear what I'm saying. Even the mere question, has your name ever been on an actual presidential ballot, is a benign, completely inane statement that you should be banned for. If you don't understand what we're dealing with every night, on a nightly basis, the censorship that's been levied against me and every effort I've made, bear in mind the subscription rate, the subscriber numbers at YouTube have remained the same in 9 years. How is that possible? Thank you, Roy Cephas. Roy Cephas, I'm going to make you my mod tonight. Thank you. How do you think for a second this country has gotten to this point of corruption and environmental devastation with you voting Democrat and Republican? How do you think that's possible? Because the Democrats and Republicans are corrupt. And you've made the same mistake every voting cycle. Thank you, and be a good mod when I'm gone, and I'll keep you on for as long as we possibly can. Yeah, they raised it. You can get higher scores than 1600s now. It's corruption, yeah. Plain and simple. It's the two-party system festering with corruption. When I tried to run as a third-party candidate in this area prior to the blackface video, Sarah ran for Washington State Senate. We got 5% of the vote. She did. Right under 5%, but close. The proof of the matter was everybody alienated us. Wherever we went, no one would talk to us. We were always ignored. And I realized then, and since all my press releases were completely ignored by the press, that we would have an uphill battle convincing anybody that a third party was necessary. And no, you can't fight this locally and think globally. That's a complete fallacy. So, if we are going to deal with an issue that is germane to our nation on both sides of the political spectrum, we have to let people to talk about the issue. We have to let people in. Now, Barack Obama kept people out. He didn't want to let people into the conversation. He said he was going to have, healthcare discussions. Never had healthcare discussions. Never happened. Similarly, Barack Obama was not the only one with this ego problem. Trump is the same. So, Trump's going to pull 7,000 people out of Afghanistan. It's about time. Thank you. Well, because Roy Cephas decided to, he had to step up. I asked somebody who wanted to be it. He said he wanted to be it. I decided to make him a nod. I need Roy Cephas to take care of business when I'm gone. Hopefully he will. I'm going to take off at 10 o'clock my time. Trump's pulling 7,000 troops out of Afghanistan. It's all good. Oh, proportional representation was voted down in BC. Okay. I know, but you haven't been in here long enough, NRT. But you know something? I'll make you a mod too. Okay? You both could be mods tonight, okay? And Paul wants to be a mod now too. I know. You're not here enough to be a mod. Otherwise, I'd be a mod. No interruptions. Not one day off. We only get Sundays as a day of rest. But I've not taken one day off in 10 years. Every show is even broadcast from remote locations. I speak very well. And I've maintained a steady presence on the internet for 10 solid years against all odds. Most people couldn't last 1 year, let alone 6 months. And I can tell you that there's nothing that I could do that shows you that I'm more than capable of doing everything you need as your leader to stabilize this nation and get it on track. I have great composure. Thank you. I have had a few blow-ups, so we've had about 6 blow-ups out of 30,000 hours where I got pissed off. Mathematically, I can win because technically, only 34% of the population votes. The people that should vote don't vote. If we can activate people to vote instead of not vote, we'd have enough to beat the Democrats, Republicans. Mathematics are in my favor. In a three-way split between 33%, 33%, and 34% for a third party, we can beat them. Trump gets pissed off too much, yeah. He's a reactionary. I'm much more of a planner and a plotter. And because I got control of my finances when I was a young man, I didn't really run into debt like Trump did. And I didn't have to steal $430,000 from my dad. Excuse me, $430 million from my dad. Trump took $430 million from Fred Drumpf. He managed to snake the money out through tax schemes, and a guy is tracking this information and found out all kinds of interesting stuff about it. Yes, if those who want a third party wouldn't settle and vote for one versus the other, yeah. One of the two establishment parties, in the end, they keep saying that a third party is a split vote. It's actually not. If you vote third party, you actually create a brand new political movement in the center of the political spectrum. It's basically the voters saying, I want something different where I can find common ground. I don't want to make you two-party borders and all you two-party people think that, you can get away with voting two-party and expect the country to improve. That's like handing a bottle of alcohol to a drunk and expecting them to go off drinking. You're enabling the corrupt leaders by voting two parties. You're not making it available for a third party to start a brand new approach to government. You're enabling sameness and corruption, and by voting two-party, you're becoming the problem. It's time to start thinking out of the box. Now, Ralph Nader did a very good job of showing us the way. He did. Ralph Nader actually sued the Democrats because they violated his rights. In 15 states, they kept him from getting the necessary 5% money that he needed, 5% votes that he needed. They kept him at 4.2%. And they purposely made it so that Ralph Nader couldn't run with any matching dollars. Well, you guys are giving up because you know politics is so corrupt. So why bother? Instead of stepping out and voting for somebody who's not corrupt, you just accept the fact that it's corrupt and you don't bother voting outside of your two-party system. We had a major blowout of all of our power lines are down. I mean, on the way back, I'm going to be hoping not to hit a power line. We've got like 7 down trees with power lines in our area. It'll take a day or so to get these power lines up. It's crazy. Well, kids just have to understand that your vote is really important. And if you could vote for even a write-in candidate and write my name in, you're better off than the two-party system. But the Electoral College is a stumbling block, but we could generate enough delegates and electors within this third party to kick their butt if we won a popular election. If I get near a power line, stay in my car because the tires will insulate me. Call 911, have the fire department remove it. Yeah, if I hit a power line on the road, I'm not getting out of the car. I'm just stopping and I'll call 911. She is. We just got a text message from Sarah. She said she's safe. She's happy. The power is still out. She'll see when I get home. And I texted her saying I'll be back at 10:30. It was so cute. I hooked up a propane stove for Sarah. I heated up soup. And I even heated up water and boiled some eggs. And I put the soup in a double boiler so she didn't even have to heat the soup up. So she can have soup and chips and stuff for dinner. Well, I didn't want her to mess with the propane tank, but she knows how to use it. It's a portable propane heater. Actually, it's a propane stove that I've had since the 70s. I used to use it in my van down by the beach in Venice. I bought it at REI, I think, back in 1982 or something. You're having cake and eating it too, huh, for breakfast? That's nice. Well, we're doing great, and Trump is hoping to get $5 billion if the Senate says no, and it's not that much to really ask for. If he doesn't get $5 billion, the Senate says no, they're bucking him. They're to blame for the government shutting down. Trump's going to take it on himself because he's a tough negotiator. There are some qualities about Trump that are really quite good. Yeah, believe it or not, he actually has good negotiation skills. He does. He's trying to fight for our country. The question is how much of Russia is controlling him. We don't know. And if Mueller can't find out, I'm going to stick with Trump's statement, there is no Russian collusion. I'm really quite shocked that Mueller hasn't done anything really strong to deal with Trump. Recommendations need to be passed on to the House. As soon as the House convenes January 3rd, they're going to have to deal with impeachment. And if they can't put together a good impeachment case, we're going forward with Trump all the way to the end of this term. I'm just hoping he makes a good decision and chooses a better VP, mainly me. Fruitcake is okay. Yeah, it's not bad. People can be a New World Order shill and still be fighting for our country in their own subconscious. There are a lot of people that you talk to any government employee and they'll tell you, I'm doing all that I can. I'm trying to help my constituents. Ooh. But they're tied. And if Trump is being held down by all kinds of leverage from Russian oligarchs or sex tapes, only him and his cell phone know that. He has a private cell phone. He can make calls to anybody in the world. Nobody can hear him. I don't like the fact that Trump is a liar. He's a known liar. I know that. I'm more than willing to tell you that Donald Trump is a known liar. He's lied over 5,000 times. It's not a good quality. But there are good qualities in every person who's bad qualities. Do you think I wanted to grab this entire problem and wrestle it and figure out what I can do with it? I saw him stealing my ideas 6 years ago. Now I'm saying, well, that's a good thing. I'm glad he did follow my advice on not signing the treaty with Iran, because we don't need to give them any wiggle room. Not until they get back to a negotiating table that makes sense, where they have oversight and no sunset provisions. We don't need to have a Trans-Pacific Partnership that would weaken our ties with China. China didn't want the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I said no to the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Trump followed suit, said no to the Trans-Pacific Partnership. But then Trump started a relationship with Xi Jinping, which looks like he has conflict of interest. It looks like he's trying to do business deals for Trump Towers and stuff. No, Trump has never contacted me. But if he does contact me or contract me, or rather contact me, I'd be more than willing to talk to the guy. But if I can't get any kind of growth in this direction, we're still moving forward with a third party. No question about it. We always keep a window open whenever we use a propane stove indoors. Absolutely. I made sure I left a window 2 inches open. So if she does use the propane stove, she'll be fine. But I have a feeling I did everything I could, and she had a wonderful dinner. No, I don't talk through both sides of my mouth when I do that, Hank. I'm trying to get a practical solution to this. I'm not happy with Trump. I'm not happy with Trump's mistakes. I'm the guy that predicted all the things that are happening with Trump in advance, 8 months before the election. Hello? I'm also the guy who's going to have to formulate a plan to get out of this morass of corruption that we're dealing with Trump. I would want the position of Vice President of the United States. That's what I want. And if I can't get it, I'm still moving forward with a third party regardless. Either this election or the next, I don't care. I've dedicated my life to this effort. I don't think any of you realize what that means. That means if I have to get into my car and drive 25 miles to an electrical connection with a Wi-Fi outlet to broadcast to you for 4 hours straight, actually 5 hours straight, 4 recorded, I'll do it. And not use a bathroom the whole time. Thank you, Scissor Fight. Trump is getting some money, possibly $5 billion. If the Democrats realize what's good for them, they'll okay the $5 billion for the fence. I said 1,000-mile fence is in order. We need to move on that. And guess what? We just heard from somebody in the room, and I can't confirm this directly, but Trump is now starting to use my idea for the container fence. He says he can do it for $500 million, which is correct. The numbers speak for themselves. It doesn't cover labor, but the cost of the containers totals $528 million. Hey, I think we have a great potential. As long as Trump is watching our show and we're helping to influence policy, I think I'm making a good move. Thank you. I'm just not really concerned at this point about Trump's guilt or innocence, primarily because I've spent 2 years talking about it. Now we have to get on to the business of fixing the country. We can't just dwell on how guilty Trump is or how not guilty Trump is. Now, as you can see, the economy is struggling because of some key systemic flaws in it, which are finally coming to light, and people are beginning to worry. I'm plugged into my car. I've actually got a battery that's giving me 26 minutes left on my show, which will be just enough to do the show. So I'm going to plug in, I'm going to turn the car's engine on, and then I'll leave it on ignition so it'll charge the battery so I won't run out of energy. Pence told many in the House and Senate that Trump would sign yesterday's bill. Most have left to go home for the holidays. Yeah. Well, that's the problem with the Democrats, Republicans. They're on holiday all the time. I'm not keeping warm. I'm actually, I've got a coat on and I'm Norwegian, so I can handle temperatures pretty low without getting cold. Well, I spent 8 years talking about Obama, Hank, because Obama is still very much a problem. Well, they'll have a hard time finding out where I am until I actually tell them. I'm not going to tell you where I am, but I can tell you it's been a fun night. Yeah. It's like 50 degrees, or it's 45 degrees here. It's not that cold. I don't consider 45 degrees that cold. I know a lot of these politicians, you know, we just found out from one of our viewers at iBlog that well, I'm sorry you got kicked for saying you could driving your car through the Van Allen belt. Yeah, my mistake. Or it was one of our bonds mistakes. Sorry that happened. But I'm more than willing to compromise on many issues with the Democrats and the Republicans. That's what makes me unique compared to Trump. I'm not willing to tax the taxpayers more money. I want to actually work toward a flat tax for everybody. I'm not willing to charge the government or make the government charge you more money for more extraneous programs. I want to redivert funds from existing programs so we can get the money needed to the people that need it. Namely, we need a growth in our housing sector. We need to rebuild homes. We need to lower the price of housing, make it more affordable for people. We need a plan to loop capital. Loop capital is one of the keys to hybrid capitalism, where the government can pay for itself. That means the government could compete in the free market. My plan for healthcare is to actually get 200 mobile medical units in the country right away within the first year, lowering the cost of a standard visit from $200 down to $30. Right now it's $150 roughly, down to $30. Taking the pressure off of the emergency care and trauma care units that are costing everyone else a huge amount of money to pay for people who don't have any money. This is a direct attack on the American people when they tax us, charge us huge amounts for health care, bankrupt our homes, take away our equity whenever we get sick. It's a problem because the Democrats don't have a root solution. They just simply want to create more insurance plans. That's not going to solve the problem. The problem is expensive doctors and nurses that could be replaced by computers, robots, EMTs. Well, you were not banned. I was the one that banned you, geese. Yeah. The new mods have not done a lot of banning at all. I was the one that banned you. Yep. I don't like the Canadian health system because I think they put too many delays on people that need treatment. I think treatment is really important. Preliminary treatment. Say you got prostate cancer and they decided to wait on an immediate solution to your problem like radiation. They put you on a drug to limit your androgens in your body. It's not going to stop the cancer from growing. The number one thing about aggressive cancers is they have to actually... Oh, you got IE glue? Really? Cool. They have to actually stop it in its tracks before you can get a chance to fight the disease. Giving us some anti-hormone therapy is not going to stop the cancer from growing. Well, if it's any consolation to any of you in our show, we will be allowing more. I will be unbanning a lot of people. We're open up a new slate tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon when we start our show. Glue is Jason, yeah, but I will be unbanning people. I do it regularly now. There was a long time when I realized that we kept banning the same person, Melco, essentially. But Jason's also a problem. But I might unban all, yeah. Yep, I might unban all. I've done it before. It opens up our chat room and increases viewership. You can have private insurance through a job in Canada, but it's like you're forced to use the government provided. Well, I understand, and that's going to be the same way in America. You won't have to go to a mobile medical unit for health care. You'll be able to get it from your private doctors and private health care providers. But we want a basic backup plan to alleviate the stress on our existing healthcare system. So if we don't do that, we run the risk of a lot of people facing no medication, increased chance of diabetes and heart disease, the number one killers in America, a lack of knowledge about diet. We really can't afford to drop the ball here. We need to get people good diet plans, good checkups, and their blood checks have to be done properly. Melco has continually been unable to understand my perspective. He keeps claiming I'm flip-flopping when I'm merely a centrist. That's the problem with Melco. He doesn't comprehend complex thoughts. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Tomorrow we'll have an unban all plan. Okay? And Transcender, yeah, I can unban Transcender. Sure. Do you have the correct spelling? Tomorrow will be an unban all, yeah. Yeah, tomorrow will be a clean sweep. We'll unban everybody. So it won't be a permanent ban for you tonight. But I'm using mods tonight because I really can't control the room. And there's a lot of people, when I leave, there's a lot of people who are going to trash on our show. No, it doesn't. No, it's not that I've been wrong and I have been unable to admit I'm wrong. It's that you are unable to accept the gray area in an argument. Melco cannot understand the gray area in an argument. That's the problem with Melco. He doesn't understand there's a gray zone in every argument, and I think that's a problem. Not everything is black and white. I didn't want to have to find ways in which I could at least find good qualities in Donald Trump. I mean, I felt that he violated my rights by taking my ideas, but now I think about it, I'm beginning to see a silver lining in this dark cloud. By taking my ideas, it was the highest form of flattery. I mean, in a way, I'm molding policy, so I'm good about that. And when I take the reins of this nation, if I take the reins of this nation, I'll have a chance to do it having already cleared the slate, already made some big decisions. Really. I see that. Yeah, they're very upset. But having, had a person fleece my ideas, I think is a perfectly okay thing now at this point, because I can't control that. It is what it is. All right, you can unban how he did it if you want. But he'll get unbanned tomorrow when I unban all. Let's just wait till I unban all tomorrow, okay? If you have to ban anybody that's willfully trying to slander me or attack me, those are the ban rules. We don't ban people because they disagree with me. Well, making a statement like vowing to not have it, I never vowed to never have anything to do with the Trump administration. I never vowed that. Could you show me where I vowed that I would never have anything to do with the Trump administration? I've never said that. I've even suggested that he choose me as chief of staff. I want an in on American politics. I've been censored for 10 years. You tell me how I can stop it. Because I can't stop the censorship. They have too much money. You people who are talking about me can stop the censorship by simply talking about me. But I cannot stop the censorship that very wealthy people pay a lot of money to Mark and others to stop me. I only ban people that are showing me clips that are completely irrelevant to my statement. Again, you're trying to stipulate that I'm contradicting myself when I'm not. What you're doing is taking clips out of context and using them against me. That's not cool. How he did it could be close to Lot Lizard. You're right. I do know one thing about how he did it, that he really didn't like having his name banned. When I banned over 700 of his accounts, named How He Did It, 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 1,000, he didn't like that. So he came back as Cal Worthington and his dog Spot. If you want to get unbanned, go see Cal. If you want to get a chance to chat, go see Cal. If you want to get a tan and you don't know where to go. Hey, so Cal, you're not Howie, Cal? I thought you were How He Did It. You came in the room right when How He Did It disappeared. I'd say you're at 80% chance of being How He Did It. Well, good for you if you're not How He Did It. Okay. Well, you people, oh, you're a drag king, really? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. You people keep your secret identities. I don't want to violate your secret usernames. It's not political persecution. You only got modded, you only got debanned or banned by me once. Geese. Now you're all pissed off that your new geese name is something different. Yeah. Jim, you're not banned. You're still here. We do know that Howie does not have Lot Lizard's voice. We compared it. I know that. Okay. That wasn't you. I banned somebody else then. Then don't ban this geese. He's somebody else. Well, don't ban this geese. It's a different geese. I've informed my mods not to do that. Okay, we're coming to the end of our road here. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a moderator. Is that from a movie? I can't hit the vape and drive, so I can only hit the vape when I go home and lay down and spoon. Of course, I can't do it around Sarah, so... Yeah, Hank, you just can't seem to let it go. As in Melko. Anybody who resembles Melko in their statements, trying to claim that I said this or that, just ban them. Only people that are hitting you with a paragraph of text that they write down just to get their point across, that's a bannable person. It's not an abuse of power, no. I think Royce is doing a good job. I think we made some strides. We got out of Syria. We got out of Afghanistan. Trump is doing the right thing now. We've got a military state forming a brutal state. If you people don't recognize the need for a third party, then you're lost. You'll be heading into a FEMA camp in a couple years. You won't even know what hit you. We need to shrink the size of the militarized police force. We need to reinstate posse comitatus as it applies to every one of our branches of Marines, Air Force, Navy, Army. Good night, genius. Take care. Sleep well. I'm out of here, too. I'm going to be closing down the show in 5 minutes, but I've done the impossible, and I think that's partly because it is possible. Whenever you press yourself to the limit, and I've got a brand new computer running at full speed with only 1 megabyte upload out of a company that's kind enough to let me broadcast in their parking lot. Thank you. No, I'm not using a track phone. I'm using a laptop gaming computer, Dell. It's brand new, 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive with a dedicated solid state drive for the operating system. Okay, Rays, thanks for coming in, guys. But this show has been against all odds. I managed to pull it off. I didn't realize I'd be getting a connection, but they were kind enough to give me their passcode, and I was been able to broadcast, so it's been good. Okay, U.S. futures following Wednesday's sell-off don't look that good. It's only 228 gigabytes, the solid-state drive. It's a smaller one, or no, excuse me, 128 gigabytes. It's enough to run the operating system efficiently, and then they use the terabyte drive in here, which is not solid-state. They use that as a backup, your backup drive. So solid states are very good now, and they're very quick to start and much better. I'm really quite impressed with this computer. We could have waited and bought a better one, but I didn't have the time. I had to get this one. And again, we got a really good deal on it with our 3-year warranty on the other one, so everything worked out. The Dow Jones dropped 470 points to 14-month low in a second day of big losses following the federal rate hike. U.S. stocks swooned for a second day Thursday after the Federal Reserve raised benchmark interest rates and said it would continue to let its massive balance sheet shrink at the current pace. Fears of government shutdown also sent stocks tumbling to new lows Thursday. S&P fell 1.5 percentage points. NASDAQ composite fell 1.6 percentage points. The NASDAQ is 19.7% lower than its recent high. The Dow and S&P 500 are on track for their worst December performance ever since the Great Depression. I think getting out of Iraq, or getting out of Syria, is a big step in the right direction. I think Donald Trump definitely followed good advice on that one. Well, if you get a 3-year warranty, extended warranty, you're going to have the ability to take that computer back within 3 years. We definitely did. And that was awesome. That went towards this $1,200 computer. Plus, we bought another. Actually, we bought another. It was an $1,100 computer. We bought another service contract for 3 years on this one. So out the door, we were about $650, which is very good for a really good computer. I can tell you, I've never been happier with this computer. I'm watching my back, man. Hey, thanks for modding, guys. I'll be letting you guys take over the room for a while, and I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be unbanning all to get started with a fresh new look on our country's politics. I think a lot of people are in this room because they like politics, and I love it. I really enjoy talking about it. Yeah. No, I'm in a good place. Yeah. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for coming in. I will see you guys tomorrow for another continued show. Hopefully we'll have energy in our house, or I'll be broadcasting from somewhere like here. Either way, we'll see you guys again. Thank you for watching, and yeah, the Trump bashing has been good. We have a lot to say about Trump. It's all centrist perspective. I'm going to take the good or the bad. We have to look at all perspectives here and make the best of it. All right, have some good times tonight. Enjoy your free love.